tell you what it bloody is. It's the 50th episode. Mm-hmm. And are we going to do something about it?
No.
Okay. Oh, well done. Yeah, good job.
Yeah, good
job.
I'll tell you what, though, they laughed at us. They said, "Oh, we'll give them 3 episodes and they'll be
literally no one was thinking about us for 1 second. We did 50 in a row, sort of. We had one little hiatus.
Yeah.
It's been good. Well done, Charlie. Good job.
Yeah.
Well done. 50 episodes. That's all we got to do with celebrating about that. You know what's coming up?
Yeah, big day.
Depends when you're listening to this, but hopefully before Sunday.
Yep.
Sunday is?
Mother's Day.
Oh, yeah. You
got to look after the mums and the mother figures in your life.
I thought you were going somewhere else there. The
No.
Oh, the mother figures.
The mother figures.
Those mother Fs.
Yeah.
Those mother figures.
Yes, that's right.
You
got to look after them.
They've
done a lot for you.
You all sorted out?
I'm well and truly sorted, yeah. Because
are you like that with presents? Are you and presents and gifts and looking up, you get ahead of time and get yourself
No, I don't get ahead of time, but I try to make sure it's always there. But in Mother's Day in particular, I've got a little bit of an advantage because my wife's a florist.
Is that good or bad, though? I mean, that means she's working Mother's Day. Like, it's the busiest time of the year.
Yeah, it is. So, look, Mother's Day will be probably me solo going to a lunch.
You haven't. I was going to say you haven't ordered flowers from your wife's company to her, have you? Please don't tell me you've done that. I reckon you have as well.
Oh, for my wife. Well,
yes, like the mother of your children. Yes.
Yeah, and I thought you were talking about for my mum.
Oh, yeah, for your mum, you would have done that.
Yeah.
But what about them?
I haven't. Have
you organised anything for the mother of your children? I feel like this is a no.
We've still got time.
Okay.
It's only Monday today when we record this.
Okay. If you like, I'm just going to put my hand up and say, have not organised anything.
Yeah, neither have I. Okay.
My mum's just over from Victoria. I've got the mother of my children, my wife. Have not done anything for either of them.
Okay.
But I'm here to say, we got you covered.
That's okay. Yeah, we've got this.
You heard right there. Dan's wife is a florist. And I said, you know what? I think we need to give our people an option at BackChat.
Yes.
1, to support local businesses, but 2, to sort your shit out for Mother's Day. So what's she run? And what's she been able to do for us?
So for our patrons.
Yes.
Because they're very special people.
Yes.
They've been supporting us for a long time.
Yes.
Free delivery. So you go on the website, Fox and Rabbit. Okay, we'll put a link up on this episode.
Is it foxandrabbit.com.au?
Yeah, foxandrabbit.com.au. Easy to remember.
Good. There's
a Mother's Day section. You order a user code that we'll put up for our patrons. Free delivery. It's like 3 clicks and flowers will rock up at the mum's door.
I feel like that's a pretty good saving. Delivery's relatively expensive, especially on Mother's Day.
And it's easy. Like, you don't have to go to a florist, fight it at the shops. Like, it's just done. It's like, literally go now. Go do it.
It kind of got me thinking, right, Mother's Day, okay, flowers, easy kill. Mm-hmm. Yeah, great.
And they're lovely.
Get the flowers. Yep. But if flowers not your thing, we're not going to force you to go and get flowers.
Maybe they're allergic.
We've got other options for you.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe your mum likes whiskey. I'm serious.
Yeah, maybe.
There's a discount code over at Patreon for our patrons for Whippersnapper whiskey.
Yes.
The world's best whiskey since we've aligned with them.
Yep.
So you can buy your mum whiskey. You can buy your mum.
Yeah. Oh, you want me to say it?
Oh, I was just leaving you some space.
Coffee.
There you go. Coffee. We just signed a partnership with Margaret River Roasting Co. Mm-hmm. Local business. Local coffee, good coffee for good people.
Good. Yeah.
That's actually their slogan.
Yeah, I saw that on a sticker.
So not only have they sorted us out with a bit of coffee, you can see it's sort of lying around the set here. Mm-hmm. Got a coffee machine behind us for the crew here at BackChat.
Yep. And for anyone that just walks past the door.
That's correct. I think we're going to stop the podcast and start doing coffees out of the studio here. But if your mum likes coffee, we're going to put a discount code over at Patreon for bags of coffee.
Brilliant.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And if that isn't enough, this could be the piece de resistance. Cameo. Now, if you ever thought of a great gift for your parent, wouldn't you think a cameo from Dan Const saying, Happy Mother's Day, Mummy.
Margaret, Barbara, Justine.
Margaret. There you go.
Yep.
I'm over there too, but I actually want to see some Dan Const cameos. So we got cameo. We got shout outs.
I think they're like $4.
We've got... Yeah, but they'll feel like it's more than that.
Oh, that's right. That's what I mean. It's an easy...
We can do a duo. We can do duos. Some description.
Yep.
So we got flowers, free delivery from Fox and Rabbit. We got whiskey from Whippersnapper. I don't know why I'm laughing. Like, women like drinking whiskey.
Yeah.
Coffee from Margaret River Roasting Co.
Yep.
Cameo for shout outs. What have I missed? I mean, hell, if you would have put a bet on, jump on Bluebet. Like, seriously. There's our sponsors. Great crew of people. They're looking after us. It's been very good. You are on BackChat Podcast. You can find us on the website, backchatpodcast.com.au. That's how you sign up as a Patreon. That's how you support the podcast. That's how you watch it. Did I say it wrong again?
Yeah.
I feel like if I ever say it right, it wouldn't seem correct.
Yeah, that's true. I won't correct you.
I'm going to go wrong. At BackChat __ on Instagram, on Twitter, on TikTok. You can find us on YouTube if you just look up BackChat. We got the algorithm pumping over there now, so you just chuck it. You can just write down Const if you want.
Don't.
It'll
you'll find my secret channel.
You can find us on Reddit. I think we're still there.
We are.
I always bag it. Don't know if we're doing that. But yeah, very happy to announce a new couple of sponsors there, Fox and Rabbit.
Yeah.
And Mullet River Roasting Co.
Yeah.
Coffee's been good, actually.
Yeah,
this coffee machine makes some bloody...
I was surprised,
It's I don't know which way we can see it with the camera, but it's a bloody beautiful looking thing back there as well.
It's very nice. Thanks.
Okay. Thank you, crew.
Legends.
Absolutely love it. BackChat. Big week coming up this week. Big guest coming up. Fantasy.
Yes.
Why do you say yes?
I'm doing better every week. I'm getting better.
Oh, you've moved up.
Yeah, of course. I'm getting the top 100, man.
134th to 132nd. No, did not plays.
No. I think I had everyone playing, and you know what? Let me tell you this.
Okay.
There was 2 times this week where I got a notification on my phone because one guy was out from Carlton. Can't remember his name. Not important. And another
George
person.
Hewitt is his name.
Yeah, Hewitt. Yep. And then another late withdrawal, and I reshuffled some team.
Well done.
My team made the right adjustments.
Bit of attention's all it takes. So this is for 2 grand final tickets. I've sort of been skimming over this for a bit. For the winners of this, as long as you've been a Patreon, goddamn, as long as you've been a patron all year round.
Yeah, since we started the competition.
Can't just sign up and then leave. Yeah, since we started the comp, then you can win 2 grand final tickets if you win the BackChat Fantasy League. Now, you're 132nd. Charlie's here.
G'day.
Are you going up or down?
I've gone down again. I was a couple of weeks ago, I was 116. Last week, 1110. Back to 116.
Okay.
Not a great week for me. I captained Adam Chera. Didn't have a great week.
Yeah, Captain Adam Chera, the arrogance and you just wanted to rub it right in, didn't you?
I kind of did. It was fun, but yeah, didn't work out for me.
Kat's here. Kat, how's your team been going? And be honest.
Look, it's not great, but I am moving up slowly.
You're moving up.
Yeah.
Have you changed your team? Have you been trading? Be honest.
Yeah.
You have?
Yeah.
What sort of guys are you bringing? Can you remember who you brought in this week? You don't have to look. No, you don't get to look either.
Footballers.
I just brought out the ones that were injured. And
Good.
Ones that
Smart
weren't
play.
injured.
Dan brought in Morris Rowley.
Yeah, I did.
And he went well.
Yeah,
if he
75.
ever goes that well again this year, what did I say I'd do? I'd eat a whole bucket of fillet of fishes.
Raw. You said raw fillet.
Yeah, well, which is how they come anyway. So I just got all of them from Macca's. Look, I'm disappointingly, I'm from 65th to 71st. I mean, I really instigated this whole thing because I love fantasy footy, and my performance is just so disappointing week after week. It's I dish out a fair bit of flack, but that's where I'm at. The Hot Guys team. Yes, I know we're all very interested.
Our favourite team.
Yeah, she's dropped outside the top 1,000, Alex, my wife. Bailey Smith, not that attractive on the fantasy field this week. She's down to 16th, though, in the comp.
Did he get out-mulleted?
By?
The other chap with the mullet. I can't remember his name.
I didn't see that. I like a good mullet. But I have been forgetting to shout out who's leading the comp, who's got the tickets. Well, it's Scotty over at Team Ramrod. He's 8th in the bloody country.
8th in the country?
Yeah.
He might not only get grand final tickets, he might win a Toyota. I don't know, is it Hilux? What do they give away?
We'd have to ask Selby, I suppose.
They give a car away, I think.
I mean, I will say fantasy can turn very quickly. It can turn, your fortunes can turn. You can turn your team into a very good side very quickly. But if you've got a good side, the wheels can turn and spin off the car, and you can find yourself grinding down a hill on the axles only very quickly.
Wow.
So congratulations, Scott. You're first. I don't know if he's going to win it all, but he's 8th in the country. So good luck catching that. Okay, bit of a whip around content-wise. Roaming BackChat on the weekend. How was that, Charlie? 109-point loss to Richmond, the Eagles?
Some quite sad Eagles fans on the weekend. One's sitting right here next to me.
Miserable.
You looked a bit sad, Kat. No, and Tigers Nuffies are always fun to talk to.
So you went to the Footy Friday night, had some fun with Roaming BackChat. If you haven't seen that, find it on our socials, TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, BackChat _. But it would have been the next day that got you really up and about. I know you enjoy roaming BackChat, but the Freo Dockers, they are the real deal, mate.
I was very lucky that I was actually, nobody was in the house. I was just watching the footy by myself because I was screaming. I was that excited about this game. Wow. It was great. And it came down to the last few seconds there.
Started poorly. You boys started really badly. I'm telling you right now, you were nervous. You were making errors you haven't made all year. And I was thinking, this is what happens to everyone who plays in Geelong. You just get this feeling. And I was thinking, I've been high on Fremantle. I was like, this is not the way we need to do this, fellas. And then they just clicked into the gear. Midfielders got going, got a great back line.
They reset very
well.
They
don't really have a forward line. Let's be honest. They don't. They don't have this superstar forward line, but they kick goals. They score enough to win.
Yeah.
Jeez, it's a bloody beautiful thing, Charlie.
Great to watch. I'm looking at flights for September.
Friday night this week.
First Friday night since 2016.
That's unbelievable.
It's unfair.
That's 6 years ago.
Yeah.
I mean, it means you've been shit for a long time.
But that's a fair cup. But now we're not,
I'm excited. I'm working Fox Footy on the boundary. I'm hoping Freo get a win because it means you get to interview the players on the ground. You get to pick a couple. So maybe we could throw out to our listeners, maybe you, Charlie, you're going to go straight to the top of the list, who I should suggest we speak to because you get your request. As a boundary rider, they come down to you with 5 minutes to go, the winning team. Who do you want to speak to, Scully? Get to go through the stats, find someone you want to talk to. So maybe we just need to get some requests in. Who should I ask to speak to at the Freo Dockers? I personally would like to speak to someone who hasn't played that well. Like, get a backman who's had like 7 touches. Because they always interview the mid. Andy Brayshaw gets interviewed every week. I'd love to get a Trav Collier, even though he's out. Switter.
I'd love to get a Brandon Walker.
You like Brandon Walker?
I like a bit. He's quick.
He's bloody quick. Play with walks. He's a bloody quick player. Anyway, that's enough about Freo. But they're going well.
I will say that I did see today a couple of people just like trying to get all bold and going, that's it. Fremantle is winning it all. It's like, mate, you've calling it for weeks.
Oh, come on, Dan. The lid's off.
The lid was off. The lid was off here 5 weeks ago. Like, seriously.
Yeah, and these people making bold predictions now. It's like, well, make them at the start of the season.
I know who you're talking about. Anyway, okay, we move on. Excitingly, another little thing we got here with BackChat, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Sorry, I'm just catching up.
All right.
After I listened to you guys ramble about Fremantle for about 45 minutes.
Such a West Coast supporter. I don't even hear how good they are.
So salty right now.
Just bring on 2023. I'm done with this year.
Bring on 2030, please.
Yeah, you're in trouble, big boy. All right. So, new little thing here. We floated it last week. We were inundated with submissions.
Yeah, so many.
The best, worst Guernsey.
Yes.
We're on the search. BackChat is on the search for the best, worst Guernsey in the AFL. There's been some absolute stinkers. We had a lot of people send them through, and we've done it. We've built a bracket for the people, and we've got something to win at the end of it as well. It's a competition.
Yeah.
So what are we going to do? We're going to roll it out over socials.
Yep. Going to vote on our stories, like polls and things like that on Instagram and
it's going to be a head-to-head matchups. Every post, every story is going to be a head-to-head matchup, and you've got to vote for your favourite one. We're going to narrow it down.
Yep.
Going to be a grand final, and we're going to have the winner of the best, worst Guernsey in the AFL. And the winner, so we're going to draw someone at random, either a Patreon.
Yep.
You're already entered. You're in.
Yes.
You're the best. Or you can enter on the website or on our socials. We'll have links up to follow there.
Yeah.
You've got to enter name, email address, just so we can get in contact because we'd like to present the winner with the winning item, which is going to be the best, worst Guernsey in the AFL.
Yeah.
So we're going to present that in person at the podcast. Get you wearing it. We might even wear it as well.
Yeah.
It's going to be bloody exciting stuff.
When we started looking into this and we had so many submissions from people, I completely had forgotten about the Western Bulldogs Thor Guernsey, the one that they wore the first game.
I mean, let's not influence people, but there are some shocking ones out there. Hawthorn's got a couple of stinkers. Brisbane have stunk it right up. St Kilda have absolutely had some shockers. What I didn't realise was how many bad jumpers there have been.
Yes.
Carlton's got one in particular that I really love. And that's the thing. We don't want you to vote with how much you hate them. It's like how much you'd love to hate them.
Yeah.
Like, how bad is it? It's so bad, it's good.
That's right.
That's
and you know what
we'll
do at the end of this?
Yes.
We'll make a petition that we'll contact the club and say you need to bring this back for one game and make them wear it
Okay.
I'm sure we've got the power to do that.
I'm sure I'll hit Gil up. I'll get in touch with the CEO of the club and say, look, this is what's happened. We've run the
33
best
people
jump.
have voted.
Yeah. No, there'll be more than that. Don't worry about our listeners. They'll get right behind this. So that's the go. The best, worst Guernsey in the AFL will be revealed. It'll be a quick reveal as well. 2-3 weeks. We'll get through it.
There's going to be 20. So there is 18 clubs.
Is there?
To even it up.
Thank you.
We're going to go 20. And for the brackets,
I wonder who's going to get the extra little bonus, little wild card.
Yeah.
Maybe we should be looking outside the AFL. Anyway, we'll have 20. Watch our socials. Follow us on BackChat, _, on Instagram, on Twitter, and on TikTok. We'll do that there. Now, BackChat bets, thanks to Bluebet. Another week, another loss.
Another L.
I mean, we started so strongly. I am really enjoying this because, again, I don't want to be like, oh, we're trying to make money. We're going to retire off this. Don't have to do the podcast when one of these comes through. It's bloody good fun. I enjoyed building them.
Yeah.
This week, the thought that went into it, right? So this week, bet one was a Rioli to score a goal.
Yeah.
So my thought was we want to be alive after Friday night. So we couldn't bet on West Coast.
No chance.
No line, no nothing. Nothing to do with the West Coast. And then someone threw out, there's 3 bloody Riolis playing. Surely one of them has to kick a goal.
Yeah.
In big trouble. Daniel plays in the back line. Willie does his hamstring. And we're in absolute dire straits. I text the guys. I said, this is ridiculous. Who put this bet together? I think it was your bet.
It was. Do you want to text back? Mo will save us.
That's all you said. And I was like, no, he won't, mate. He looks nowhere near it.
Yeah.
Well, I tell you what. Mo's covered all of them. He's kicked a goal for each and every one of them. 3 goals, the big fella. So he kicked us off well. And then we thought, got to get around the Freo Dockers. And we left this one to Charlie.
Yep. I was excited about Josh Tracy coming in. You know, he's got a lot of nicknames. I was very happy, but
I mean, before you get there, I mean, Melbourne and Collingwood win. That's in respect and honour of Shane Woden. Played across those 2 great clubs. They both win. Tick, tick.
And we thought we weren't taking a punt with these.
Lockie Neal, past Freo player. We want to see him go well still, though.
Yeah. 37 did he get?
30 plus touches. See you later. Tick. Yeah. Just one to get. Josh Tracy to kick a goal. He didn't look like a Charlie.
He didn't look like he was going to kick a goal at all. He kicked 3 the week before on the waffle, and I was just hoping.
He was playing waffle, Charlie.
Yeah, I know, but you know.
Did he have a kick?
I think he had one shot.
Look, I'm a big Tracy fan. I backed you in to make it, but just know that the entire bet went down because of you.
Oh, it's. I'm disappointed in myself, really.
Yeah, good. Because I'm disappointed in you too.
Just be better.
Anyway, we'll have one next week. If you do want to get involved, you can find those on socials. We're putting them up all over the time. We build them pretty late in the week, so they're usually out on the Friday.
Yeah, in time for Friday Night Footy.
Yep, get around it. Sign up to Bluebet. Their links are in our links across the socials at BackChat too. This is a good little segment we're rolling out at the moment. Fines.
Yeah.
And I asked for a bit more interaction from the listeners.
Yeah.
And what happened?
We got it.
We bloody got it.
Yeah.
We absolutely. I was a bit flat last week. There wasn't a lot of fines. I was like, maybe people didn't love it.
Yeah.
Well, tell you what, people bloody love it. Go to our website. There's a form. It's easy. backchatpodcast.com.au. While you're there, you can sign up for the Guernsey contest.
Yeah.
You can buy your mother a Mother's Day present.
Yeah.
And you can send a fine in.
We've got you sorted.
There was some,
Yeah, the fines section for me is almost like an airing of grievances.
Okay. Well, there's some grievances this week, and I appreciate it. Liv sends in. Liv's fined herself, so I appreciate it, Liv. Appreciate the honesty. This is a $2 fine. She's been way too optimistic about the Eagles.
Yeah.
And I'm going to throw myself in that basket too. And Dan, I'm going to ask you. I'm going to ask you if you want to put yourself in there as well.
I text the group. Eagles are going to win this game.
I bounce down. Eagles. Hey guys, I've just got to think. West Coast are going to win.
Yeah.
6 minutes in.
5 minutes.
West Coast are not going to win.
So I'll take a fine for that.
All right, $2 fine. She was similar. 2 goals. So they're at quarter time. Just kick 2 more goals and we'll be back in it.
Yeah.
Half time. This is going to be the most epic 60-point comeback of all time. Halfway through the 4th quarter. If we kick 2 goals, we'll lose by under 100 points is where she shifted to.
That was what I was chanting for at the end. I was
chanting?
like, get under 100. This is at home by myself.
Under 100.
Yeah, basically.
All right, this is from Anne. I like this. I like this on a number of levels. So this is to me, Mr. William Schofieldson and Associates.
Great.
All right, so very good.
Can I just check you haven't overlooked the name?
I have.
Yeah.
I can't figure it out.
Anonymous.
$2 fine for me not figuring that out because I just looked at the
Make
last
it $5, please.
I looked $5. I looked at the last name. I was like, I don't know how to pronounce it. I'm not going to say it.
Anonymous.
Okay, and anonymous. Yeah, very good. So this is for the abysmal mispronunciation of Orca. I was saying Orca last week when discussing the best worst
West Coast
jumper in the comp, which is the West Coast Orca jumper.
Yeah.
Now, it's pronounced like the tree, not the whale, and I was pronouncing it like the whale. It's not just me who's getting a fine, though. Everyone else can have one because, Charlie, you got a mic over there. I'm pretty sure it works, right?
Yeah.
Dan?
Check.
Working?
We're not allowed to defend the fines, right? Because I do have defense for this.
No, absolutely not. You don't. Everyone else gets a fine because I said it 4 times. No one picked up on it and said nothing. So
okay, we'll take it.
There you go. What are my Patreon dollars even going to? She says, right? And then she says, P.S. I'm not a crackpot. P.P.S. Yes, I really registered that email address. She's put together official backchatfines@gmail.com. That's unreal, Anne. I bloody love it.
That's good.
$2 credit for you. You're allowed to give credits. $2 credit, Anne. If you want to come see me, I'll give you a $2 coin. David Lavelle. This is for me. Great. So this is a piece of shit segment that I just get fined and lose all my money.
Good.
Hope you're writing this down, Charlie. $2 fine. We'll see at the end of it what it's for. The very large link to the BackChat Twitter account at the bottom of the website goes directly to Will's Twitter account.
Oh, that's scummy.
Yeah, you know what? That's fair enough. $5 fine. Very good. Kane Horskins. Now we're talking. Dan. Why? For bringing up his figures of 5 for 16 every bloody episode, mate. No one cares.
I have no retort.
$2 fine because I like hearing about it. I bring it up. I'm actually the one who brings it up. I'll $2 fine to me. Brad Miles. This is for Dan as well. Now, around the 31-minute, 55-second mark of episode 48. Kyle Godwin. It sounds like Dan's balls drop, so he gets a $2 puberty tax. Also, a man with such a love for a fillet of fish has no right to call a banana fritter disgusting. For the record, they are both terrible food choices. $2 fine for you, Dan. Yep, very good. $2 fine. $2 for fillet fishes and $2 for banana ramas. Is that what that is?
Banana ramas.
That's it. Fine's done.
I've been going through puberty for about 45 years.
I need a gavel. I've noticed. I need a gavel. I need fines in session, fines off. Charlie, can you find me a gavel?
I'll find you a gavel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You send it, we read it. Just the one today. M&T Matheson.
Hi, boys. We had a birthday dinner for my granddaughter this week. Yes, Macca's was the request.
Good,
awesome.
Good.
I ate something else, as I don't eat the above. However, I couldn't believe it when my son opened the bag, revealing his fillet o fish.
Oh, how old
He also had a Big Mac, which I noticed have certainly shrunk since I last saw one, which is very true. Dan, had to let you know there are other lovers of your favourite Macca's burger. Keep up the good work, boys. Love listening to the podcast every Thursday. Kind regards, Trish.
Right, so that's from Trish. She's making you feel good about yourself. Does that make you feel good? I'm assuming grandkid. I'm thinking like 8, 9-year-old child.
They have no taste buds yet.
So. They're like fish fingers, yeah. So you get the fish fillet of fish.
It's basically a giant fish finger in a burger.
Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Oh well, thank you, Trish. Appreciate that. So you send it, we read it. hello@backchatpodcast.com.au. You want to send us something? We will read it in its entirety, word for word. We started this very early on. This is episode 50. This was perhaps our first segment we ever ran.
Apart from Schofield.
If you want, but that's been going for a long time. If you want remind me to say something at the end of this.
Okay.
About roaming BackChat and Charlie.
Yep.
Social media, been running for a long time. You send it, we read it. If you want something said, anything, you want to quote, you want to plug your business for free. You want to tell us, I don't know, you ran into Dan at the footy.
You want to propose to your girlfriend.
Now that would be, you said that we read it. Wouldn't that? In the world's worst Guernsey. In the best, worst Guernsey in the AFL. You said it, we read it. hello@backchatpodcast.com.au. Now.
Say something about Charlie.
I was having a couple of beers with an OG backchatter.
Okay. Are you going to name names? Or
you see if you can figure it out. And I want to see if Charlie can figure it out. He says,
I already know who it is.
He says he was walking across the bridge somewhere and he looks across and there's someone with a camera and a microphone and it has a big BackChat logo on it. It was a Fremantle game. He linked eyes with you, stared you up and down. You linked eyes with him and you either deliberately refused to interview him or perhaps Didn't know who he was. And either of those options are very bad, Charlie.
I tell you what, it definitely wasn't deliberate because...
Do you know who we're talking about?
Is it... I can't even remember seeing anyone.
Who would it be?
It was Butts?
It was Sam Butler?
Yeah. No, if I'd seen him, I would have definitely gone up to him.
He maintains that you saw him and you made the conscious decision to ignore him.
Didn't he say you also gave him the bird as well?
I think Charlie was like, I run this shit now. Anyway, he would like an apology.
I would like to put an apology out there. I'm sorry.
You're so soft, Charlie. Stand up for yourself.
Because I would love to have him on roaming BackChat.
Okay, all right. We've digressed a little. Big guest coming up. It's been a bloody pleasure. Say hi to your mum for us. We love her.
Get her something good for Mother's Day. She's done a lot for
I
her.
repeat, flowers, whiskey, coffee, shout-outs, bedding. Listen to this podcast. You need it, we got it. New segment. All right. You know I don't like introductions here, Dan. We just get straight bloody into it because if you're watching on YouTube, you can see the man sitting opposite me. He's the greatest to ever have done it for West Coast. He's the all-time leading goal kicker. He is a 3-time All-Australian, 2-time Coleman medalist. He's just kicked his 700th AFL goal. Goals for West Coast, 700. Make sure that's clear. I know that's important. Josh Kennedy joins us on BackChat. Hello, Josh.
Hey, how are you?
Yeah, good, mate.
That's the nicest thing you've ever said about me,
what?
I reckon. Just that
that rap
stuff.
That was all off the internet, so it's not it's not from him.
Pick number 4 in the draft.
Yep.
Right, we're going to take you all the way back to the start of your career.
Yep.
2005.
Yep.
Who got taken before you?
So Mark Murphy went number 1.
Yep. Is that fair?
Yeah, definitely.
Captain his club.
Yeah,
Good
3 on a game.
Yep.
Daisy Thomas went number 2, who was a little bit of a smoky. No one expected Daisy to go so high. But he did, I think he kicked like 10 goals in the grand final or something.
Yeah, in the TAC Cup.
In the TAC Cup grand final.
Yep.
So Collingwood picked up him. And then Hawthorn took Xavier Ellis. So X, who I got to play with later on down the track, or we got to play with. And then, I was lucky enough my name got... read out, but it was, I saw it on the screen back then. The internet was a bit slow and my name came up.
You would have been on dial-up. Where were you? You would have been dial-up.
Dial-up connection, 100%. So
making sure no one's picking up the phone.
Yeah, so we actually had a massive night with me mates the night before. We were living in Scarborough. Cadbury Sweps is where my dad worked at. So he'd come over and he'd organise like the function room at Sweps in Aussie Park, just to get some internet connection, get a big thing up. And
any goodies? Did you get some kickbacks there, like maybe some soft drinks, some chocolate?
Mate, so
lemonade.
Mate, I grew up. So my old man worked for Coke, and then he went to Cadbury Sweps. Wow. And then my stepmom, who my dad remarried, she worked for Streets.
It's the holy trilogy.
And they lived on the Gold Coast. So like holiday time, every holidays at school. Mum used to hate it because like holiday time, we'd go to Gold Coast and would have either it was Coke or Cadbury Sweps. So there was like soft drink, chocolates, Streets, ice creams packed in there. And then obviously they do a lot of sponsorship and stuff with obviously the theme parks. So we were going to Movie World, Wet n Wild, Dream World, like all the time. I did not want to be living in Northampton. My mum hated it.
Yeah, you wonder why Josh came to the Carlton Football Club with high skin folds. He did that for 10 years. But, so you go to Carlton, right? What was your time like at Carlton? I mean, you get drafted with Mark Murphy, so you would have been close to him. And
yep.
Were you happy to move away from Western Australia?
Look, I was a bit of I wasn't really too fast, so I wasn't, I suppose, like a lot of guys want to stay home and be close to, I suppose, where they grew up. I was just hoping to get an opportunity somewhere. So wherever it was, and lucky enough the name got read out number 4 at Carlton. I actually didn't know. I got a call from Dennis Pagan before it even come through the dial-up connection. So I didn't answer the first call. The second call came through. I was like, I don't even know this. No, I'll answer it. It was Dennis Pagan, and then that's the things that it's come up my name saying that I'm going to Carlton. So look, it was a great time there for 2 years, and me and Murph were pretty close, and we had a few other guys go through, I suppose, those first few years there, but it's changed. It's changed a lot since I was there.
Any decent stories from Dennis Pagan? Was he your coach for your first 2 years?
He was, yeah. So Pago, So
Pagan's paddock.
Pagan's paddock.
Did you have that going?
We had it with
Carlton?
Fev. Yeah, had it with Fev. It was pretty much Fev just is the target and that's it. So we all just get out of his space and
You included. You see you later.
Yes, yeah. You start near Fev when the ball gets bounced and get outside of the 50 when it's going in general play. So, and Fev just did his thing. So it was amazing being able to play alongside Brandon Favola.
You kicked 11 goals there over 2 years.
Yep.
Is that why?
Yeah. Well, Fev took it all. Yeah, 100%. Otherwise, I would have kicked 100 or 200.
And time in Victoria. We get into the stage where you get traded back to West Coast. Were you enjoying your time there for 2 years? Did you want to come home?
Not at all. Not at all. I wanted to be a one club player. I think it's just being from Northampton, growing up in Northampton, country footy. You love your club, your loyalty, and Carlton gave us the opportunity to get over there. I lived with Grandma for the first 3 months because I've got all family over there, and then moved in with one of the boys, Luke Livingston, and really made some really close friends. And we weren't winning at the time, so we won a wooden spoon. That was my first wooden spoon.
You're a two-time.
I'm a two-time wooden spoon. Yep.
Two-time wooden spooner.
Yes, I am.
Let's keep it at that, please.
I know, it would be nice. It would be nice. But I made some really good friends. I'd love that Carlton gave us the opportunity. So I really wanted to stay and be a one club player, but obviously things didn't pan out like that.
Now Dan wants to get into the Chris Judd trade. I mean, it's the Josh Kennedy trade, if we're honest. People call it the Chris Judd trade, but it's the Josh Kennedy trade.
It is.
Right? But before we get there, can we just clear it up on BackChat once and for all? Right. I hear a lot about your goal-kicking exploits. You've been a great player for West Coast. People look at you as a great Western Australian. Can you just clear this up on BackChat?
Yeah.
You're not a West Australian, mate, are you?
I'm not. No, I'm not.
It's your place of birth, and that's not where you were born.
No, we're not. So I was born in East Melbourne at St. Vincent's.
Bloody Victorian.
I know, it's a Victorian. Which is,
he's a bloody Victorian.
I don't like telling many people that. I don't. Yeah, exactly.
Dan's a big West Coast fan. That's just broken his heart. Right, mate?
I'm okay.
So I'll tell you why. So my old man.
Tell me why you were born in East Victoria, please.
Well, my old man's Victorian, so all the Kennedys are from Victoria, and the old man played basketball. So he met Mum at the RAS for basketball, and then he went on to play for the Canberra Cannons. So Dad was finishing off with all Canberra Cannons. He was looking to go back to St Kilda at the time. He got asked to be captain of St Kilda, which is the basketball team, NBL. For a year, and it was also time when I was about to be born, and Dad didn't want me to be born in the ACT, so he shipped Mum back, and I was born in Victoria. I was only there for 3 or 4 months, and then Dad went back to Canberra Cannons, and I had the first 5 years of my life really in Canberra, but I was born in Victoria, and then.
So it's all a ruse.
You can't be running around as a Canberrian, can you?
No chance.
Nah.
You know what? I've just realised we've gone way too far.
Oh my gosh. Why do I do that every time?
You're so excited.
Just forget everything you've just been asked. I've got a very important question to ask you. It's something that we ask all of our guests. Every guest that's ever come on this show, this is the first question we ask. And I've got a little bit into it, but I don't know why. But
it's like a little chihuahua sometimes. You're just ready to go.
I do it. How is that coffee, by the way?
It's not too bad, actually. I was quite surprised. It's great crema on top. But
if it's good, it's everything to do with Margaret River Roasting Co. If it's bad, it's everything to do with my coffee making ability. Just so you know.
Well, I can tell the coffee beans are good. Yeah,
there you go. Yeah. Like it. Now, question. We know what you've done on the footy field. We gave you a little bit of a rap sheet. That's actually longer, but I just, we don't care. I'm here to tell you we don't care. I want to know your greatest sporting achievement not on the footy field. You're a great footballer. You've played a lot of games for West Coast and Carlton, 2 states.
Kicked some goals.
Coleman medals, all Australians. Yeah,
couple of wooden spoons.
Really good. But what is your greatest sporting achievement? Would you like some examples while you have a think?
No, go on. Give us examples.
Under 9 state 90-metre hurdle champion.
I thought you were 400 run. 800.
I do it all.
800.
I do it all. I'm just picking the best. Okay, Dan, it's yours.
Well,
thank
you that you asked. 5 for 16 in a grand final, under 12s, Stuart Hill Cricket Club. Yes, that is the trophy right behind you. I know you've been looking at it. And that is the ball.
Very good.
Yeah.
That's just one. I could have picked any.
Hayden Ballantyne was a javelin thrower, would you believe?
Wow.
Cal Sinclair was the lead singer in numerous high school plays, and we've allowed that. It's a bit of a technicality. We've allowed that.
Yeah.
I mean, Mitch Johnson gave his wife's sporting achievements as something he'd done.
That was a bit
Had
of
some
a cop-out.
skaters. No, you enjoy your skating.
I do enjoy my skating. I've never competed by that. Sport. I only really played. I played 2 sports, which was basketball and football because I couldn't play anything else.
You got any state championships?
Oh, I won like high jump once at school, which is
pretty good.
Yeah. I went to we call it the ACC, so you win it there and you come down to Perth compete, and completely came last in that down here, but I won it up there.
Impress us, mate. You can't just be a footballer. I know you've done something on the basketball court.
You know, I do. Yeah, well, I got best on in the grand final under 16s, right?
Yeah.
But I actually didn't play well. The only thing that stood out is I dunked it.
Oh, huge.
So I dunked it. I had 1 dunk, and I probably only had a few more other points, but I got best on, and I think it was purely because I dunked it.
Full height rim.
Hey?
It's like a full proper height rim.
I was probably another foot tall. Yeah.
Wow,
That's great.
I used to be able to jump.
You know who the other dunker we've had on this show?
Who?
Peter Boll, the 800 runner.
Oh.
Peter Boll's greatest sporting achievement was his
dunking.
ability to dunk.
Yeah, wow.
So, I mean, you two are the
guys have
same,
something in
except,
common.
he's come forth in the Olympics. And
Yeah.
you've just been meeting cabbages and streets. And
He left his hometown. He came won somewhere.
Yes,
rather than coming last.
No, you've done plenty. Well, okay, I like that. We'll take that, won't we?
We'll take that.
Okay. Trade to West Coast. So you play 2 years at Carlton, make some good mates, but then the opportunity comes up in the off season of 2007.
7, yes.
How does that go? How does getting traded go for a player? I don't think we've spoken to many that have been traded here. What's that process like?
Well, so back then, I was pretty full on. So I was over seeing the old man in Brisbane. So I was over there on the weekend before I kind of trade week started. And a lot of stuff was going through the papers that Juddy had just nominated Carlton, and then all of a sudden players were getting thrown up. Fev's name was getting thrown up, Lance Whitnell, me lapping my name, and a few of the West Australian boys that were there at Carlton. So it wasn't really too much, but you knew your name was getting thrown up a bit, and Juddy wanted to go back to Carlton. So I ended up making my way back to Perth because I was going up north with a mate to a place called Halfway, Lucky Bay, which is kind of just on the stretch of beach. There's no power, nothing, just shacks, and just up there for a fishing trip and drinking some beers. And so before I went there, my manager rang and said, "Hey, you just need to be in phone connection because you might have to come down to Perth to meet West Coast." And I was like, "Oh, really? Like, surely they're not gonna, do they really want me?" He's like, "No, I just want you to, we'll just be in contact." And I was like, "Oh, I'm going somewhere with no phone reception." My mate had one of those old satellite phones because obviously Telstra weren't as probably good back then. And so you could stand on top of the shack and hold it up and you get a ping on your phone, like on the Nokias. So we went fishing, camping. Every couple of hours I'd get up on the shack, no ping, sweet, straight back down, kick into whatever. And we had a bit of a big night Saturday, and then Sunday morning it would have been 9 o'clock-ish. I went up top, ping, phone went off. My manager said, "You got to get back down to Geraldton. Woosh wants to call you, and West Coast want to meet you on Tuesday." And I was like, "Oh, fuck." So made my way back down. I was at Mum's house. I was in my sister's room on a phone call to Woosh, and it was pretty much, he was saying that he wanted me to come down and go through the club, and I just kept saying, "Mate, I'm not coming. Like, I want to be a one-club player. I don't." And he's like, "Yep, I understand you want to be a one-club player, but we want you to come down. We want you to meet some, show the facilities because this deal might involve you." And I said, "I don't want to come. I'm not coming, Woosh." And so I was like, 19-year-old telling John Worsfold what to do
On top of a tin shed.
And I reckon if we were face-to-face, he would have had me in a headlock and said, "You're coming." So eventually he persuaded me, by the end of that phone call, to come down on the Tuesday, which was in trade week. Meantime, still talking with Carlton and nothing's, don't worry about it. You're not going to be part of this deal. We're going to keep you. We're going to get something else done. And back then, trade week was pretty much like Monday to Friday. So open a business on Monday and close a business, trades had to be done. Monday, Tuesday, I actually went down, flew down, went through the club, and it was an eye-opener. Like, going from Carlton back then, Carlton didn't have much money. Dickie Pratt had just came in and was about to help revamp, I don't even know what they call it there, their training facility, but
It's now Icon Park.
Yeah, Icon. It used to be Princess Park, obviously, with the big park around it. And there was the facility wise was pretty shot down. There, obviously not enough money, and and West Coast had pool, ice bins, this massive gym, these Big offices everywhere. It was unbelievable. I was just going, how good is this? No wonder these guys are winning games and, just come off a couple of grand finals. And then Tuesday was still okay. It wasn't, the club was saying, no, we're not going to get anything done. But then by Wednesday, the narrative kind of shifted a bit, and I think they started to worry because Juddy wanted to go. That he could have gone, if I had said no to the deal and nothing got done, Juddy could have gone the pre-season draft and Richmond had pick 1. So technically Richmond could pick Juddy up if that was to happen. And it was never really going to happen, I don't think. And so the voice probably from Carlton's end was a bit like, oh, mate, well, I think this is a good opportunity for you to go and, Juddy's going to come here. And so I kind of swindled around that way. And then, it was me and my manager sitting there Wednesday, Thursday that we thought, oh, well, good opportunity to come back, closer to mum, closer to my friends who were growing up here. West Coast were winning. Carlton weren't at the time. I was like, I might win a few more games, which didn't end up being the case. We won another wooden spoon 2 years later.
You're the curse.
I was thinking I was the curse.
Did you speak to Juddy? I've never asked you that.
Not during it. No way. No, Juddy was the ultimate. He was the main man of the AFL.
You're the one holding this deal up. Like you're the one. You're the key to the puzzle.
I know. I know that now. Like I wish I had like a bit of that brain or business sense. So I would have been going, oh, hang on.
That deal you got from Vizzy? Maybe I could be your vice president at Vizzy with you, Juddy.
Had a bit more leverage, I think, but then what I'll probably use. But look, I was just the week. As much it was like really slow, it did go really fast. And once it happened, it happened. And then it was all good. I was coming back, which was great. Mum was pumped. Everyone was, getting back closer to home and family. And then, you would know, Cuzzy got arrested the week after. Yep. And, kind of shit went downhill a bit. And Mum's going, why the fuck are you coming back to the West Coast Eagles? So there was a bit of stuff going on at the time, and it was a big couple of weeks. But I look back now, and I can't thank West Coast enough for giving that opportunity for me to come back, and I'm glad I made that decision because I know it's easy to say now, but I just don't feel like I would have been the player or the person I am today if that deal hadn't gone through.
I'm just thinking we could have had Brendan Voller for a bit.
What about Lance Whitnell, mate? Could have had Lance Whitnell. Matty Schlappen. We got him anyway. We had Matty Rosa, so it was the same thing, right? Okay, so you come to West Coast on that wooden spoon thing, right? So win a spoon at Carlton, 2010. So not a couple of years after you come to the club, West Coast win a spoon.
Yep.
Were you playing that year? Were you injured or were you playing?
2010?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I pretty much, just kind of broken in. Probably it was my third year here, just broken in and kind of got settled in, I suppose, that forward position, that tall forward position. And Summer had, really backed us to play every game. So,
do you look back on that period then, and I don't really want to get that much into what's happening at West Coast now, but do you look back on that period then, a spoon at the end of it, but really like a transitioning, rebuilding phase of 2010 that a year later playing a prelim?
Yep.
Do you look back on learnings you had then and apply them to now? Is it
relevant?
Is it relevant?
It's definitely, you definitely reflect back on them now. Like you look at some of the players, and even you're rocking in Mondays after these shellackings we've been getting, and how disappointed and everything, and everyone's in this mood, and you kind of, some guys get shitty, and then you just start to realise they haven't been, a lot of these guys who have been there 5-7 years, like they haven't really
success.
They've already had it. Like young Liam Ryan, he's walked his first year, or Subi, he's done really well. They win flags, and then he walked in, he won a premiership first year, and then we've been up playing finals, and then this is him and a lot of other players' first kind of down period. So you do draw a lot, and it's easy for me to go to them and go like, oh, mate, don't worry, it's going to be all right. Like, just keep working on your craft, keep doing your training, keep staying positive, don't give up, because like things will bounce back up. And they sit there and go like, oh, fucking fuck off. How are we going to bounce back from this?
Would you have been like that in 2010? I reckon you would have been.
Yeah, I would have been exactly the same. I reckon I probably had Glassy and Coxie and Andrew Embley telling me, Lynchy telling me the same thing. And I was like, oh, fuck, I fucking smashed every week. It's shit. I'm fucking winning the second wooden spoon. Like, you know what I mean? And I'd actually legit thought it was a curse. I'd won like, played 22 in Carlton. I won 3 games, and then probably over the course of those 3 years, I'd won another. I don't know. We only won 4 games in 2010. So,
what do you put down turning it around? Then it's not just time and it all turns around. Things have to.
Yeah.
Is it work rate? Is it buy-in? Is it connection with the players? Is it coaching staff? Is it game plan? Is it everything?
I think it's it's a combination of it all. But I reckon the most important part of it is the self-awareness of every individual, like as a player. You know what I mean? Like being able to be self-aware of where you're at, and also being true to going like, I'm really struggling at this. This is my weakness. How do I get better at it? And then having that drive to go and get better at it while things are tough, because it's easy just to go like, oh, fuck this. I'm not going to do anything. I reckon that we had a lot of players, like, including yourself and everyone who just wanted to keep getting better even though we're getting smashed. And it just really put us in good stead, I think. And then you have another pre-season together, you get a bit fitter, and then things start to click, you know what I mean? Like, I think we lost in 2010, we lost about 4 or 5 games under a kick. You know, I remember Jonathan Brown, like Brisbane beat us by that last kick. Yeah. You weren't playing on him. I think that was Brownie.
It was Brownie and Spang.
Brownie and Spang, yeah.
Spang was playing it, but that game is Mitch Brown.
Yeah.
I thought back to that time as well, because I look at the team now, not going well. Last 3 games not going well. But then you look at the 2010, so you had, a young Natanui playing, Luke Chewy playing, young Kennedy, Hearn, Schofield, and Sam Butler was another guy. I actually learnt to handball left-handed in 2010. I still can't kick on my left, and you know that. Mm-hmm. Josh knows that because whenever he was leading to me and I was running onto my left, he just knew that it wasn't like we had a couple of connections over our career that people would be just like, how the fuck did Kennedy know Will was going to kick it there? And the only answer is he's got no left foot.
Left foot.
It was never going left. It was always right, and I was always cutting back inside. But I learnt to handball on my left hand as an AFL footballer in my 3rd year. So I don't know if that says bad thing. Why did I learn, or why did I not know?
What did you go? I'm just going to handball left hand from now on.
Sam Butler and I got together. Neither of us. It was about what Josh just spoke about. It was improving yourself even when you're going poorly. And it's like, okay, what can I get better at? Like, I was a good runner. I could kick. I was contested, so I was competitive. But having no left hand, it meant that I would always get stuck. There was no way out if I was running onto my left. So you could at least handball 15 metres and hit the target every time. It gets you in a good position on the field. So Butsy and I would do this drill where we'd start 1 metre apart and we'd have to handball left-handed and hit right in the chest. And if we both hit it, we'd take 1 step back. And our goal by the end of the pre-season was to get to either end of the gym, which is about 30 metres away, big handball, and hit each other. And we did it. And so every day we'd go down there and we'd have to go further and further back. And the first miss, we'd go up to training. If you missed, we're done.
Right.
So you had to. It was mental as well as physical, and it applies to a little bit what JK's talking about. Is like, can you get yourself better when things are going poorly?
Yeah, definitely.
So then, what is that for you then? Like, played a long time. So how do you get involved in that process?
It's just picking. Well, the game changes so much. Like, I've been in the game for 17 years, and every year there's some little tweak to it. You sit there in, I suppose, your peak where you're mentally good, your body's good, and things just kind of flow, and you kind of maintain what you need to do, and you're still learning, but because it does shift a bit, and as you get older, a lot of it for me is just the body, you know what I mean? So trying to be able to manage to play and have an impact where your knee's not that great, and you need to make sure that you're looking after that during the week, but still getting enough training involved where you're not just slipping. Yeah. So you find little ways, like whether it's just being stronger in the gym or little touch sessions or your little breakdown drills where, I might not be able to train, but you might be able to just get to the side and do some breakdown one-on-one stuff, which, all comes into play. And then also just assessing what situations you are in a game. Like, I think a lot of times everyone gets together and does these things, but it's like, it's not the situations that you'd be in a game. So go and put yourself in those situations during training so you get better at the game.
Kicking goals from a point post. It's like, you're never going to do that in a game.
No, exactly.
I always sort of reflected on you as being the hardest trainer I ever played with. And that beats any midfielder. I certainly wouldn't put a midfielder in that list anyway, and it's very lucky I'm putting a forward in that list. But is that something you may... like I'm guessing, but you can't train at the level you used to train at because of your body. You're older, you just can't back it up. When you're trying to recover for the next game now. But through preseason, how do you teach that to young guys? Is it just by doing? Like, because I always learn from you because I'd be playing on you and just watching and just be. I knew if I wasn't working hard, then I was going to get made look stupid, which happened most times anyway. But how do you teach that to younger guys, that work rate?
Yeah.
Is it teachable?
Yeah. It depends on what sparks and drives them individually, I think, as well. Like, I think I was lucky enough that, coming through in our forward line, we had Lynchy and Mark LeCras, who were both two of the most competitive people, that ever met. And then you play on you guys down back where you had Glassy, had yourself, Spang, Eric McKenzie, who was the most competitive people. And you have to have a competitive edge in football, obviously, to get to that level. But just having those battles and little games, like you said, like a little left-handed game, like that's a competitive game right there. And then you're trying to beat butts and trying to be better. Those things just help you, I suppose, grow and and then for me, training, it was, I suppose, Masto used to be the best runner, and it was like, how do I beat Masto at running back then, or how do I? So you used to tag along, and I reckon it was only one session. I beat him in 200 one session, and I reckon he was having a real bad. He might have been hungover. It have to be, but I beat him one day in 200s, and that was just like the little achievement where I was like, yes, finally got there. But even though you're not going to get there to that final result, it still drags you along.
So is that what drives you, beating people? Like, is that what is your main driver, competitiveness?
I want to say yes and no, but I think it is. I think for you to work really. Not
like losing or like winning?
Nah, I'm not like Lecker. Like, if I lose, I'll kind of go, you know what, fair enough, you beat me. How can I beat you next time? Or, we'd have our battles at track and go, fuck, Scully got me that time. How do I, or someone, Harry Taylor.
Lecker cracks the sads.
Yeah, Harry Taylor, fair enough, you shake hands, you go, you were too good today, you actually beat me. And then you go, and how am I going to beat you next time? But Lecker hated losing. So, but he was always a good driver. Like, he was obviously the best crummer. So, I had a focus one year where I just wanted to have the most crumbs inside 50 because I wanted to beat him at that. So you practice, and then you get a bit better at it. And I don't know, you see the leaderboard on the crumbs or whatever, and you're beating him, you're like, yes, I finally did it. And then that just, little things like that. So for younger players these days, I think it's just that drive, and you can help encourage it, but until they actually really want to do it, it's hard. You can push, I think. But see, a lot of stuff these days, everything's done for everyone. You know what I mean? At the clubs, there's so many resources. There's so many whereas back when we started, you kind of just had to do it yourself. Otherwise,
you wouldn't make it.
You wouldn't make it. You just get left behind and then see you later. So, but I think it's the teammates around you that can create that competitiveness that you have your little games, and then that just keeps driving you to try and be the best. Yeah.
Do you guys remember that video that came out a couple of years ago, went sort of viral? You guys battling at training.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That drill. Yeah. Who I've heard your side of it.
Have you?
You thought you won that?
Oh, I did. Yeah.
What do you remember when that was doing the rounds?
Yeah. Well, there was one bad kick.
I mean, Kenner's one.
Well, hang on a minute. I took.
You know what?
No, it was a free kick. The first one.
Yeah.
I reckon.
And I tripped you.
Then you tripped me, and then I outmarked him in the contest. So there was kind of 1v2. But I reckon there's a bit of the kick.
I do remember that one. So this is very relevant to what we just spoke about is we hadn't trained well that session. I don't know if you remember this as well, but I was thinking about it. It was like we hadn't trained that well. And usually with those, you'll pair up with a bit of a younger guy. And maybe just it's a good way to teach the guys to get better. But I went straight to Kenner's. I was probably the most senior defender. I knew he was the best forward. I said, right, we're going at it. And we go, and I remember saying to you, let's go fucking hard here. Yeah. And when you're two older guys doing that, you can go to 95% and not come to blows at the end of it. You can really push yourself and enjoy it. And we both did, but that was maximum effort for Josh and I. I could not run, could not walk afterwards. They didn't show any aftermath of that. I just lay on the ground. I
took that chest mark and I was on the ground. I didn't get up.
They thought we were unconscious.
I literally didn't get up.
Yeah.
Just laid there. I think Will was over my legs and I was just laying there. I'm not even going to get up, kick this ball back. They can get another ball.
I remember watching it just being exhausted just from watching it. It was,
I like in fair. I'd love to say, look, we train like that all the time. But
it's one effort.
Yeah, it was a one-time thing. It's called the barbarian drill. So you get 3 efforts. You got to get from the square, get a lead up, and then as the back, you got to try and stop the forward from getting back to the square. So it's the scrag is bloody dream. Like Scrag, the best forward ever play the game for West Coast. Just grab him, trip him, wrestle him, and he still beat me, which probably shows it. Well, we're out of. I like sort of just going through the career.
Yeah,
so,
who maintains the structure of this?
I do.
Dan
gets excited.
does.
No,
Dan just pulled you in line a couple of times.
No, he does, but it's okay.
That's right.
We're back
it's
on
team
track.
effort. It's a team effort.
So you get traded to West Coast.
Yes.
You play under Woosha, and then 2011 we bounced back and play a prelim after the 2010 Wooden Spoon. What's your time under Woosha like? What was he like as a coach? And I'm going to ask you, compare it to Simo.
Yeah, look, mate, Woosh was a terrific leader, a terrific mentor. His toughness up between his ears was, second to none. Like he was absolutely the mental toughness thing that he preached down. I reckon really helped a lot of us younger players get that discipline that we needed, probably in just working hard and being professional and. The late thing. Can you remember the late thing? Like, just not allowed to be late. Like, 2 seconds late is, if you were 5 minutes early, you were still nearly late. Like, we used to get in trouble for that. So just having that discipline that was drilled in from him and just his mindset on goal setting. The accountability to. This is, he'd ask you, where do you want to be? Like, what sort of player do you want to be? And you go, I want to be best forward in the company. He's like, all right, well, how are you going to get there? And you'd just be like, well, probably if I do this, this, and this. He's like, all right, sweet, go and do it. But he'd constantly check in with you. Are you doing that? I think you're doing this. That's not what you said you were going to do. So, yeah, his ability to, I suppose, keep you accountable to what you wanted to achieve and not sway away from it, I think was a big thing that he drilled into me, and I reckon a lot of others.
Yeah, spot on. I mean, it was just straight. It was unwavering. And the respect for him as well, right? It's like it wasn't fear at the time. It felt like fear. Like I'm scared of letting Woosha down. I'm scared of what will happen if I am late, if I don't win this contest, if my skin folds aren't good enough. Yeah. And it was different with Simo, but it doesn't mean it was the worse or anything. It was just that's with Woosha. At the time, I thought it was fear. It wasn't fear. It was like his ability to make you as a player do the things you wanted to do.
Yeah, yeah.
And put it in your hands.
Put it in your hands.
He drove it.
And he helped you drive it, And, and I think the football sense of it, like game style and stuff, he had some really good people around him. Like Phil Walsh was, he was a massive influence on me and a lot of players.
How so?
So, he would always take out offensive stuff. Maybe used to every Monday have to go in and watch the clips, and it'd be like, you'd have the names on the board, and you'd walk in. You've got to go and watch these clips.
Tell us what it was.
So like all the stuff we do defensively or in our game style, if things weren't happening, you'd get your name written up on a board, and you'd have to go through your clips with Walshy. So Walshy, so there's like
it's like a name and shame.
Pretty much. And pretty much for most weeks, there was 22 players. Like not one person got everything right. So you'd always walk in, you see, fuck. So come in to Walshy, and then I used to try and kind of get the back end of it, because then we watched Nick Rewalt's tape. So and he took the time to watch that every Monday with me. So I kind of looked at Nick Rewalt. He was a superstar of the game. He was a great forward, one of the best forward at the time. I never had Nick's speed, so I knew I couldn't do those long leads and stuff. But the way he was able to get space and, I suppose, maneuver around his opponents and take those marks, I just really wanted to implement that in my game. And I watched him every day or every week for 2 years, I think it was. And then, and just trying to figure out how he did it. And, so he was like, as much as Phil was, Nick Rewalt was a massive influence on my career in how he played, and I really just wanted to take that into my game. So, and he helped me do that, Walshy.
He used to run these team meetings as well. So he'd do the individual meetings, but team meetings on a Tuesday would be Walshy's defensive one, and he'd have a hat with names in it, and he'd draw names out of the hat, and so he'd ask questions. Right, where's this player meant to be? And then he'd have his hat, and he'd be like, JK, and then you'd have to answer.
That's
and
great.
so he sort of he coached with Choco Williams at Port Adelaide. He had like this. Again, it was actually similar to what Woosha in a way. Like he was direct and aggressive, and like you were scared to stuff up and let him down. But he also would watch a player's tape every week for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Like the love was still there, even though you were feared.
You're scared of him.
All right, so
scared of him.
So that happens. Woosha walks away, finishes up at the club, and Simo comes in. So what's that transition like from Woosha, who effectively, I mean, you speak about Carlton, they gave you the chance. Well, Woosha, I guess, showed you the faith in playing you every week as a young guy. Hadn't really done much in the AFL. Yeah. This is going to be it. What's the transition like from that to Simo?
Yeah, look, it was a bit of a different time, I think, for the footy club, because John Worsfold had been the centrepiece, for many years as a player and then as a coach. And, so to see us kind of go downhill, as a player, you kind of felt like you'd let him down, towards the back end. Things weren't going well in 2013 and, a bit of the writing on the wall, I suppose. There's a lot of pressure on Woosh over the last couple of years. And then, it came to an end and John Worsfold wasn't going to coach anymore. So, as a player and being through that time with him, you kind of felt like it was your fault. Like, I hadn't been able to do what Woosh wanted, and now he's got the sack. You know what I mean? I'm still here, so it was obviously a bit of a sad time, but obviously a time where new beginnings needed to happen and some fresh voices needed to come in, and which is what obviously Simo did. And I can still remember our first meeting with Simo. Like Simo came, because we had. That was the 1 year where we had our best and fairest pushed to November for some reason. I was like, didn't know whether we were going to play finals or like there was always this
double booking it.
It was like couldn't get it. So we had to go in it was like the 27th of November, right? So we're already back kind of into pre-season by then, and the best and fairest was happening. So we kind of see him at the start of pre-season, first meeting with a few of the older senior players, and then first thing he's like, oh well, I reckon we don't drink. We're not going to drink at the best and fairest. And I was like, fucking serious? This bloke fucking don't drink at the best and fairest. Like, that's the one night we celebrate things. Anyway, he's going to this, and then he goes, oh. And you know what? Moving forward, leading goal kicker, I don't think we need that. Like, it's a bit of an individual thing. I think we want to be sharing goals and I'm sitting there going, this fucking prick's not letting me drink it at the best and fairest, and he wants to take away leading. That's the only thing I can win. So the start wasn't that great in my head and perception of Simo, but no, he was fantastic. He was pretty switched on. He'd come from Hawthorn. He'd learned under some of the greats and had his own little flair. He was a really good people person. He was. In terms of that strategic stuff in football, I think he was really switched on with that and was able to explain it in a way where kind of the dumbest bloke in the room could understand. So Yoey would always understand what was going on. Yeah, and I was me and Yoey could always understand when he was explaining stuff.
So he's taken drinking off the table at best and fairest.
I was waiting for you to say just joking, but no, that was legit.
Hang on, let me get to this. Right, so best and fairest, no drinking, leading goal kicker gone. And do you remember beards were on the table as
oh, sorry, that was another thing. Yes. And guess who? So story, Simo's coming into the club. We finished the year. Woosha's got a sack. Simo's coming in. Adam Selwood was still playing, obviously then. Adam Selwood was one of the senior players and he rang.
Could have been coach. He could have been assistant coach then. Sellers.
Yeah. He wasn't playing, sorry. He was just one of the coaches. Yeah, that's right. And get his phone call off season, Adam Simpson's coming. And mate, just bit of perception of outside, probably from Victoria is that, West Coast, we've got a bit of ahead of ourselves and, worrying about our looks and, a few of the beards. So probably you need to shave that beard by the time you come back. And I'm like, fucking shave me. What's my beard got to do anything with my football? Anyway, so then obviously the call's gone to Scully and Masto. And in my head, I'm like, do I shave my beard? I started to get a bit worried. I was like, no, fuck it. Nah, we'll be right. Like beard. You don't need a beard to play good footy. What is this? Anyway, get pre-season. And I'm the only one still with a beard. He bitched out.
I was clean shaven.
Masto is clean shaven. Masto looked like he was 16. Anyway, it was just this awkward rock up, shake hands, Simo, and you still got your beard and but
it was a good move by you because he respected. He was testing us, and he was like, "Well, Masto and Scully are bitches."
That's great. 2013, I'm going to take you to a date. September 1st, 2013.
Surely you remember that date.
Oh, yeah.
Anything about that day you remember?
September 1st, 2013.
It's a big moment, actually. Very big
Oh, well, we didn't play finals 2013.
So we met that day.
Oh, really?
Yep. So
I can't wait. I don't know. What?
my wife and I were looking for to rent some space, like a collaborative workspace.
Ah, yes.
We spotted this place in Wembley at the time.
Yes.
And so we went along to it and had a look at the space. It was like, yeah, cool. We were chatting to someone that would have been your wife
Lauren?
at the time.
Yes, she was running that. Yep.
And we just got chatting after we had a look at it, and I you came up somehow, like she just said, I'm a husband, and I said, oh, what does your husband do? And she was like, oh, he does a couple of things. He has a business, and I was like, oh, cool.
Sells mattresses.
I think she had a couple of businesses, and then she goes, oh, he's just pulling up now. Like then you drive in the driveway.
Yeah.
Well, car pulls up. Josh Candy hops out of the car. I'm like, it's Josh Candy. She's like selling it. It's just like,
did you hug him? Did you run and hug him?
I could have.
I love you, man.
And you were dressed in your suit because it was that was the last game of the season. I think it was against GWS.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
No, maybe not GWS. It was Adelaide. Sorry, it was Adelaide.
Yep.
Adelaide, and Eagles weren't playing finals, and you were 8 goals behind Roughhead for the Coleman.
Yes. And I didn't kick a goal in the last 3 games that year.
Yeah, and I said to you, I said, mate, Eagles aren't playing finals. Surely something you could give to the fans, like go for the Coleman.
Yeah.
Surely they just feed you. It's a free hit of a game. You're not playing finals anyway. And the game starting, I'm like, Josh is gonna kick 8. Like it's gonna happen. And then you kicked 1 behind. I was hoping, and you
put too much pressure on me.
Probably.
I had no pressure on that day until you started talking to me.
Just be honest. Do you remember this day? Do you remember this at all? Is this one part of your brain
this
that's
No, I can actually. I'm starting to visualize it now. And I would have drove down the driveway, and I do remember Lauren speaking to people. I did not know it was you. Honestly.
Been like, who are these? Seriously, I'm just trying to get ready for the game.
I just remember thinking, like, you hopped out of the car, and I'm like, well, that's not a husband. Like, that can't be, because just talk this guy down.
All right, so you've kicked. So let's get into a bit of Josh Kennedy. You've kicked more than 10 goals 3 times in your career.
Yep.
Is that right?
Yes.
Do you know? Do you wake up in the morning knowing you're on? Do you feel any different, or is it just a result? And is it different other games in hindsight? When you have a big day.
See, most of the time I've done it. I've actually had mates down who are coming to the game for one, so they're staying over or whatever. And I've actually had jobs around the house that when they're down, they can help me out. So like we kicked 10 against Bulldogs. I was cleaning my gutters all that morning. Like my mates were there helping me clean the gutters. Like, so little things like that. I think Carlton, I had a couple of mates down, and we were fixing. We put the blinds up at the house in Wembley. Yeah, so like things like that for some reason. So I don't know what that.
So odd jobs is your thing.
Odd jobs is like the thing. So so I always try and keep busy, and it's probably because you're not thinking about the game. You know what I mean? You're just doing stuff, and you're moving as well. So you're probably limbering up, and then. But most of those times it's about our boys up the field who are on. You know,
there you go.
But then you kicked 11 goals straight against GWS.
Yep.
Like you didn't miss. That's not just the boys giving you the ball. That's
you got to finish it off, but you got to get the opportunities as well. So
so humble.
Yeah, so Lecker stopped kicking to me after that 11.
I actually remember going back to that time at Wembley when I said I said to you something about Colin. You're like, I don't even know how many goals I've kicked. It was I know in my head I'm like, that's bull. Of course you knew how many goals you did.
Do you know how many goals you kicked in any given season? Like that? Or not?
Nah. Well, not you just ticking through it. Like you're not sitting there counting your tally in that. No.
Right. Yeah, but like during the week when a punter in your driveway says, you're on 56 goals, and you're like, I don't even know how many goals I'm on.
Yeah, no, a lot of the time it is like that. Yeah,
right.
Unless someone comes and mentions you, like you said, you're only 8 behind, you need to kick 8, and I'm like, fuck, all right.
It was about that time that, I mean, you haven't really been a guy that's been scrutinised for much in your career. You run up.
Yep.
About that time, I reckon there was an 8-week period where every footy show everywhere was
running,
doing your run up.
Yeah, there was. Yeah.
What's that like? Given that's your genuine your craft, like that is your number one thing.
Yeah, well, it's interesting because I took the bit of the stutter. Me and Lecky used to kick balls into a wheelie bin as another competition, and you kind of didn't get in every time, but you'd get it in the vicinity. So I was kind of thinking, well, how do I take that into a run up? And I always had this little skip to get my casual 3 steps before I kicked it. So that's where it's kind of incorporated from. It kind of grew. Sometimes it was long, sometimes it was short, but I wasn't really fussed on the skip or the stutter. It was more the last 3 steps were the main thing. So, it did blow up a bit early on, and then it just became normal. And then it went from everyone going, what the fuck, what is this? He's really, really nervous there. And it's funny because at the time I was as calm as I've ever been in goal kicking for some reason, which is bizarre. But, or he can't get out of it, he can't do this, and all these things were coming in. Then it got to a point where it's like Auskick dads would walk up and go, mate, my fucking kid is falling over every single time on a Sunday doing your fucking stupid run-up. Can you stop? And then for me, in terms of the whole time I had it, as much as the stutter was a thing, it kind of grew into a habit. So it came into something that I was comfortable with. So when I wanted to change it because I wasn't feeling kind of relaxed, and you probably could say a lot of outside pressure on it. When you do something like that and you miss, they blame that.
Yes.
Whereas you could do a normal run up and have the same percentage, they'd be like, oh, fuck, whatever, keep working on your thing. But because it was so different, it was like, that's why you're missing. So I knew that wasn't why I'm missing. It was my last 3 steps on being composed. So I started to feel a little bit off with it. And Justin Longmuir at the time was, he was great. And he just said, look, you can either keep trying to really fine tune that, or you can go back to conventional and just take away a lot of those steps, because I think that's getting you off balance. But you really need to work on it. And I was like, oh yeah, sweet. And it took a good year and a bit. It was a year. I can't remember what year it was. Long would be able to figure it out. But I would, instead of actually kicking a goal, it was about my run-up. So every time, I'd stutter and I'd kick a goal. I'd be like, fuck. Right. And it was something I couldn't break. And what I realised was when you're in a pressure situation, you revert back to something you're comfortable with. It's human nature. And I was really comfortable with that. So for me to break it, it was really, really tough. So, but then eventually it kind of just phased out, and I still do a little bit of a skip just to get those last 3 steps, but I don't have that long kind of stutter into it.
So how did you decide how much you're going to stutter? Because sometimes it was a really long.
Yeah, well So like I said before, when you'd start, sometimes you couldn't stop. You know what I mean? It was hard to get that comfortable into those 3 steps, because the main thing was my last 3 steps. So, and it was I had so much support from Lecker was a big one. Every time I might have gone a bit long in the start, I got too close to the man on the mark, or you miss it, he'd just walk up and go, mate, last 3 steps, remember, last 3 steps. So that was my main focus in that whole setup. Whatever I did before, I wasn't really concentrating on thinking about, but I did get caught up in stutter a fair bit, because sometimes you fucking go for ages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've changed a fair bit about your goal kicking along the way. It changes. One thing I reckon you've brought in probably definitely in the last 5 years, but maybe even less time, is snapping. Yep. So I don't think you've done that your whole career, but you've become I reckon you get anywhere on those angles, it's anywhere from 30 to 50, and you're snapping. Is that a conscious decision? Is that something that you practice for a whole pre-season? Right, I'd be better off snapping than kicking a drop punt here?
Yeah, well, I think over time you start to you figure out percentages in your head on what you're good at and what you can do. And I've always had a hook with my set shots. From my hip to my knee to everything that goes on. See, I always haven't been this is your set shot routine. You need to stick, you have to focus on just doing that, and that's all you do. Whereas I'll adjust sometimes. I might have my knees been sore, so my hips out a little bit out. It's a bit tight. I'll adjust with the angle I'll kick just purely for it. And it's probably not the best thing, but it's worked for me. So, with the goal kicking, I've just actually forgotten the question.
Snapping.
Sorry. So back on the percentages. I knew that in those tight angles, I'm not really good. I'm actually not good. So
drop punt.
Drop punt. Yeah. Because I have a bit of a hook. I broke my foot when I was I reckon 15 in like I think I was skating, and I've got a big lump on the top of my foot. So that's if I don't hit the ball sweet on my toe, if it hits that, it does have a curve. So I've always got that curve. So, and now my knee's been playing up like the last few years. You kind of just all those things come into it, and I'm just it's not I'm not confident. I'll still I had one on the weekend where you go, fuck, I'll be able to pin this, and then you push it to the right, and you go, fuck, I should have snapped that on the left, and I've just found that body-wise, I'm able to snap on those angles, and in my head, my probability of kicking the goal is a lot higher than having a set shot on that angle. As much as you'd love to just be set shot and straight every time, the probability in my head's going, well, I'm just going to take that risk out of it, and I'll take the higher probability.
I think it's like changed now, like 4 years ago, people used to be like, "Oh, stop with the the snap kicks."
Well,
but now like guys do it straight in front, set shot.
Yeah, well, it's a hard thing, and when you miss, I've done it plenty of times where you probably could have a set shot straight, but you go, "No, I'm probably going to take a snap," and you belly it, and then go, "Oh."
While we're on,
why did you keep dropping?
While we're on sort of technique, I've noticed your right hand there, your ring finger on your right hand's no, your right hand. That's your right, that one there. So this finger,
the loss.
Can you just show us?
Give us both. No, both of your hands. Got the worst hands in the history of the world.
Terrible.
What camera we got here? This one here.
Yeah, terrible.
Is that
that is disgusting.
I know.
Does that like affect your holding the ball? Like, can you feel the difference in? I mean,
what about eating dinner with knife and forks, mate? Like, seriously, how are you holding anything with those hands?
I know.
Can you make a fist?
Yeah.
Never seen you spoil.
No.
Can you make fists?
No, just.
This is why you're.
Is
that a footy like just?
Yeah, fingers. Yeah, I tape every single finger, every single joint here. I have. I reckon a good 10 years. There was a point where I'd done a few fingers and stuff, and I was taping a couple. I can remember the day clearly when I made the decision to tape every finger. It was at the MCG playing Carlton. I think I had this one's always been buckled since I was 16. So I taped this one.
That bump.
Yeah, I taped this one. I had this one taped. I think I had these two taped and maybe one. And there was like 2 fingers that weren't taped. And I was like, I should just tape every finger just for precautionary. It's like, nah, I'll be right. First 2 minutes, went to grab a ball. Cade Simpson came through and hit me. And as I hit it, boom, dislocated my finger. The one that wasn't taped. I walked off and I just went, I'm taping every finger, every training session and every game from now on. So I've just done it.
You do it yourself?
Yeah, I do it. Yeah, I learned how to do it myself, yeah.
So it's prep for you now? Like as much as it is like support, actual tape support, it's like mental preparation?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's just like I take my wrists. I've never had wrist problems, but I love watching Jonathan Brown, and Jonathan Brown wore wrist straps, so I've worn them my whole career.
That's great. All right, we're going to go into a couple of your awards, just some quick questions around them. So Coleman medals, 2015, 2016, runner-up in 2017. Who beat you in 17?
I don't actually really get annoyed with like stuff like that, but like, yeah, Bud beat me.
Did he?
Yeah. I missed 5 games. Came back strong, and I must have been 5. I was 5 up going into the last game.
Wow.
So I was like,
just putting the third peg in the wall.
I was like, especially Bud behind you, like greatest of forwards of this ever. Maybe. Yeah, pretty much. And I was like, I'm going to beat Bud. How good is this? And last game of the year, he plays on a Saturday or a Friday night or whatever. He's playing Carlton, and he kicks 10, and he goes 5 ahead. So I had to kick 6, and I was like, And then we were going into a game against Adelaide where we had to win by 23 points to get into finals.
Yes.
So it wasn't really a day you could be a little bit selfish and hang back and try and kick as many goals as you can.
How many did you kick?
Kick 1 goal, 4.
Oh.
Yeah.
And like a belly out in the full, so you maybe.
Yeah, I had a couple. Yeah.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was yeah. But we won by over 23 points and we made finals.
Yeah, that's the Lewis Jetta chase down one wing and then kicks a goal late to the last game at Subi ever.
The last game at Subi ever, yeah.
Okay. No, I'm going to leave that. I don't want to hear your answer. All Australian 15, 16, 17. Mm-hmm. Where are your jackets?
They're hanging up in my cupboard.
Really?
Yes. Or you only get one jacket. You just get the different things on. You don't get different jackets.
Really?
Yeah. Yep.
Did not know that.
Yeah. No, you don't.
It's like a prefect blazer.
Yeah, it's not like Corey Enright's got like 9 jackets sitting up in his thing. He's just got like all the different years on that one jacket.
So, okay, just say you won All Australian this year, hypothetical.
Yeah, you give your jacket back, and they would put a.
And so with the photo, you're wearing your 2015 blazer.
Yeah, with the year on it. Yep.
Does it?
Does anyone else know?
No, I didn't know that. But bodies change. Someone's wearing it looks like they're wearing the dad's suit one week.
Yeah, to be honest, that's 17 was the last one. So I actually don't know if I could put it on. Yeah, but yeah, that's what happens. So, yep.
Very good.
Yeah. Fun fact.
3 Ross Glendenning Allen medals. 16, 17, 20. What's different about a derby? Is there anything different about a derby compared to other in-season games?
Yeah, well, I think it's interesting the rivalry between the two clubs. Like, as much as a lot of the players from coaches or even some of the players, it's like, it's just another week. We don't want to get caught up in it. But it is something that is. I think they're great to play in as a player. And for fans, it's huge in WA. But yeah. When I first came over, and talking to Brawny and Fletch and these guys, and Carlton Collingwood had a massive rivalry. I played my first game against Collingwood. There was 82,000 people, and they talk a bit about rivalry, but it was just footy. It wasn't really there wasn't this hatred, so to speak, in terms of the playing group and that. We come over here initially, it was those older guys. I hated Freo. I absolutely hated them, and you kind of realise, this is pretty big, and. I think over time that is kind of not fizzled out. It's like we don't hate Freo, you know what I mean? But you don't want to lose to them. And we've been quite lucky being in that period where we won 11 in a row. So, and they had a good run on previous to that. I think my first 2 derbies we didn't win. And then we won that one when Ballantyne, remember, had that shot after siren. Definitely played on, so I shouldn't even have the shot.
Actually, speaking to Dean Margetts next week about it, so...
Yep, that's definitely played on. Oh, it wasn't a free kick to start with. Easy... No, you spoiled. No. Matt Rosa spoiled, and it went straight over the boundary and called deliberate. Siren went.
It actually was deliberate. If you want me to be...
Was that Dino who called that?
It was, yes. If you want me to be unbiased, that's deliberate. You cannot...
The first spoil wasn't...
A spoil out of bounds from a mark is not deliberate. It was bouncing on the ground, and he punched it out of a player's hand. That's deliberate. That, by the rule, that's couldn't be more to the definition of deliberate out of bounds.
I don't know, man. A bit of pressure coming from the front.
We can see that JK still plays the West Ham.
You won that game. Relax.
I touched that ball, but
on the kick,
on the line, yeah,
into the post.
Yeah, I touched
it. Off the post into the post.
Oh, right.
You were up there jumping around, and you reckon you touched it?
Yeah, I got over Nick Nat Nui.
No, Nick Nat
watch the footage,
trying to jump on me. So you reckon you're the man who touched it?
Yeah.
You came from the front of the pack though, didn't you?
No, I come from the side.
Did you?
Oh, from the front. Yeah, sorry, front side. Yeah.
We need to fact check that, Charlie.
Get slow-mo version.
All right. I've been chatting about different things. So now, all right, we're going to go into the grand finals, right? So 2015 and 2018.
Yep.
2015. Assume you don't want to speak that much about it, but what do you learn out of 2015? In hindsight, how do you think you played? What do you take away as learnings, and what do you do reflecting back on that day?
Oh, it's huge learnings. Yeah, it's something like you can hide away and not really want to speak about, and just speak about the good stuff. But it was a massive pivotal point, I think. Well, for me individually, and probably a lot of us, on being able to perform on the big stage, and the preparation you need to put in to a day like that. And yeah, it's funny. I don't think that I probably prepared as well as I should have, and probably not the mental side, but when things are getting heated, how to get out of that cloud and get back on task and be able to focus on what you need to do. A lot of the time back then, we had a really good year in 15. We beat Hawthorn in that first final. Kind of thinking it's very similar. Going to be a grand final. It's going to be a tough task, but you just do what you need to do and play against them the way you played against. And as that pressure started to build, I think on the scoreboard, I think, what I got to do? For us to win, I got to kick 6. So then you just go away from those little things that I suppose come into it. And and had a terrible game. Like for me individually, it was terrible. It was you win a Coleman that year, and your goal kicking that you needed to be relied on for a team, and I didn't kick one. Chip Frawley, who I've had massive battles over with over the years, and from when he was at Melbourne when we first started playing to the back end of thing, and I've always loved playing against him. He's a great challenge, he's a great player, and he kept me goalless that grand final, and it hurt heaps, and a lot of that pressure and focus came back on and post that, and it was something that I'd never really dealt with, so to speak, and. Then you start to work on things on how do I get better in those situations? How do I put prep into my opponent to know that I can do everything to help expose their weaknesses and still utilize my strengths to be able to perform and impact? And then also when things aren't going your way, because sometimes they don't in football, how do you kind of get out of those little ruts rather than being so clouded the whole time, and then siren goes and it's like, fuck, we just lost the grand final and we got spanked by 46 points. Like, fuck just happened then. So as much as it's disappointing for fans and everything, and you build so much up to that point, I think it really held me individually in a good spot post that, and it just makes you, and you just learn. It's just like life. You make mistakes and you fuck up along the line. You just got to keep getting better. There's no point sooking about it, and I reckon that held us in good stead in 18. I truly do. I reckon there was a lot of us players who went through that, understand what it felt like to lose and also not to play well. And then once we got to 18, I think that really put us in good stead, especially after that first quarter when they kicked 5 goals in a row.
So after 2015, the opposition analysis coach at Hawthorn came across to West Coast, John Wardrop. So he was the guy that prepared that team to play against West Coast. So he was a pretty good resource for us at the club. I remember one team session we had, it was out at like a university or something, and he got up and spoke about what Hawthorn scouted about us.
Yeah, that was very insightful.
Yeah, and so they spoke about West Coast. We were heavily relying on Josh Kennedy to kick goals. For us to win games, Josh had to kick 3 or 4 goals. Just on looking at our stats over that period, Josh plays well, West Coast win. So it was stop Josh Kennedy, and if they're going to beat us, the other forwards can pop up and kick goals to beat us, and stop Nick Natanui as well.
And Pritter was a big one as well.
Nick Natanui to Pritter was kind of the midfield thing. And then our back line, high intercept marking team, worked well together, so bring the ball to ground. Rioli wins the Norm Smith that day, a small forward. So they pretty much executed everything, and they scouted the shit out of us. And we didn't do the same. We didn't prepare. Like you said, we win that qualifying final, and we think, well, it's going to be hard. It's a grand final, but we'll just do it again.
Yeah, it's so true.
Whereas they were like, this is how we beat West Coast.
Yeah, and it's shameful to kind of look back now and individually go like, why didn't I prepare as well as I should have for the biggest, that's like as a kid, like grand finals is huge. I've never been played in a grand final at all, junior level till, right there and then. And it was like, that's what your dream is to do. Why the fuck didn't I really fully prepare in what they want to do, what their backs want to do, what Chip was going to do, and what had gone in previous, games, and then what our midfield looks like if the ball's not coming down, or how that's going to look with the footy coming at you. So, yeah, it's really.
Do you have an answer?
Hey,
why didn't you?
Mate? Honestly, I don't like. I think you're naive to the point. I think for me individually, you got through the year on. We were playing well. We hadn't been challenged, so to speak, in a way that Hawthorn did it that day, and I reckon it just was like it was a smack between the eyes.
It was a good one.
And the result of their prep is Jeremy McGovern kicking 2 goals. I mean, I don't know how many games Jeremy McGovern
kicked 2 goals in the 2015 grand final.
Did he?
I don't know how many games he would have.
How did he do that?
2 goals.
He was a backman. Do you know that?
Yeah.
Dan told me that before.
Did he really? Yeah.
Yeah, I double check the stats. Kick 2.
I took a mark late and I handballed to Lecker. And I kind of always think like, fuck, I should have just gone back and kicked the goal, then I would have had 1 goal. But I handballed it.
Bloody Lecker.
I handballed to him and he came up and goes, thanks, mate. And I said, yeah, no worries. And I was like, fuck, that was my opportunity.
We would have lost anyway, so it wouldn't
I
know, would it?
I know.
So, okay, so move forward to 2018 then. So you clearly learned that you got to prepare better. I remember about you in 2018 were you drove a lot of the, you personally drove a lot of the, it's culture, I suppose, around the group of that week. You spoke to the group at the start of that week, out the front by yourself. One of the things was no sunglasses, no phones rule, both at training, almost around the club and definitely in the grand final parade. Yep. And you spoke about, let me get this right, embracing the week. It was about embracing the week. No. It wasn't
embracing the game.
It wasn't enjoy the week.
Yeah,
it wasn't have a good time.
Well, I think
we're there to win.
Yeah. It was embracing the game. So we talked about the game is 120 minutes of footy. So I think previously in 15 was a bit like, look, we're in a grand final. How good's this? The town's up and about. Let's embrace that week. You know, people are going to be training. We had 15,000 people training. Just soak it all up. And I reckon, you know, a lot of us, we just got caught up with that and probably took away from preparing for 120 minutes of what we need to do on the weekend. So a little bit of that, embrace the game, was more the focus rather than fuck the week. Let's just get through the week and do what you need to do. And then we're going over for 120 minutes of footy and that's it. Win the cup and come back. And just simplifying that was the point a lot of us were trying to make.
No phones, no sunnies in the parade. It was 120 minutes, no phones.
No
phones. Yeah. This is before the game. Mm. You're going to have photographers there, going to enjoy it. No phones, no sunglasses. What did JK say? No phones, no sunglasses. 21 players of the 22. No phones, no sunglasses. At the very back of the group, old Jeremy McGovern is sitting up there with his sunnies on, taking photos of himself. Is that who it was? Or was it Scott?
Remember Gov had that bloody whatever he had, a car accident thing with his bloody internal bleeding or whatever, and he wasn't going to come. And then I think the AFL made a phone call and said Jeremy McGovern is sitting in the parade, otherwise he's not playing.
West Coast isn't playing. You're not going to train on the MCG. Remember that? Yeah. They're going to take away the training session. They weren't going to let us train on the MCG pre-game.
So Gov got rushed from wherever he was. Sitting under a tree somewhere, and he rocks in. His cameras rock straight up, and he's boom, sunnies are on. And the reason for the sunnies and no phones was a little bit, and this come from Will as well, was photos and stuff and all that. You know, we're going to get that after. The best photos are going to be when you're holding a cup. So we don't want to look like rock stars, and that's what a little bit I think in 15 felt like. Was like,
how good are we?
Like, how good is this? Like, people 200,000 at grand final parade, sitting there getting selfies and everything like that, and just wanted to take away that kind of, I suppose, rock star feeling that you probably would get. And don't worry about the photos, just get there, just in there. We get there to train, and then we're here for 120 minutes footy. That was the main thing from it. And I think Hutchie was the other one who stood up and took a selfie. And he was a bit like, pretty much said to me, he just goes, fuck you, JK. This is a moment I'm taking. So
he wanted it for his Tinder profile, I'm pretty sure, Hutchie. Knowing Hutch. Okay, so what are you, some reflections on the game, perhaps? We've got to kind of move through a bit. But, like, just the game in itself, the start, different moments. You kicked 3 that day.
Yeah.
What do you think about the game, thinking about back on it?
It's probably 2 kicks off winning Norm Smith. For really? No.
That's great.
No, I missed the first goal of the game. So that was like...
You did.
That was a huge moment. It was 30 seconds into play. Ball scragging around the middle. Boots gets it out, which is, you know, pretty much my career. Boots gets out running. I know that it's coming straight to me. And I was able to get a bit of split and took a mark about, 35, 40 out. And... crowd goes nuts, 30 seconds, got the ball in my hands, hadn't kicked a goal in the last grand final. I was like, how good is this? Yeah. Mason Cox takes the mark, and he's like 20 foot tall, stands up, and I'm like, I'll give myself a couple metres, and then just went back. I was so confident I was going to kick that, and then it just faded to the right, and then he hit his, and I was like, fuck.
Isn't there something to do with winning a coin toss? That people that win the coin toss?
The stats though. I got told a few stats pre-game. It was one was, well, if you draft Rioli, within 3 years you win a flag. That's been since Morrissey, I think.
That's fact.
That's fact. That was fact. So we drafted Willie the year before. Yep. So I was like, oh, beautiful. There's one big tick. And then the other stat was in the last 5 or 6 years, whichever team or whatever the toss kicked to the city end, they'd won the game. And I was like, oh, so Bung usually comes to me and is like, which end do you want to go? I was like, if you win it, go city end, because the odds are saying that we're going to win based off that one coin toss. That was all we were relying on. And then the other one was, I think it was like 5 or 6 years, similar time frame. The team that kicked the first first goal lost the grand final. Yeah.
Right.
So part of my head in thinking we're missing that. first goal was, I can't kick a goal here. I'll wait till they kick one. Little did I know that Varco, once he kicked that first goal, they kicked 4 others, and we were under the pump, 5-0 in a grand final.
Yes.
Did you get taken back to 15 at any point during that?
I reckon there was one point, a lot more switched on in talking about that cloud and the pressure and stuff. I knew that we had a bit of control of the footy. There was just a few little mishaps, and they had just been really efficient. And us as forwards, we hadn't actually kicked straight. I missed one, and a few guys missed some other ones, and the opportunities were there. So when you're out there, you know these opportunities are coming forward, you go, fuck, we're on here, we're switched on. So I kind of felt like we were okay, but there was a point, I reckon maybe Coley dropped that, and Stephenson came through and kicks that goal, and me and Lecker looked at each other, and it was like, fuck, this is 15 all over again. Fuck, what are we doing? But Willie kicks that goal, does that little soccer, and it just a little bit lifts. Heel, wasn't it? Yeah, back of his heel lifts a bit. I was lucky enough to get on the end of one in that first, and kind of obviously 2. Then it's 3 goals down. It's like, we're right, we're all good. So yeah, we go into quarter time. Still pretty confident in terms of what we were doing. We just needed to, mids were doing really well, I think, and so were the backs. But it was just let a few through.
Siren goes, win the game.
Yep.
What's the feeling?
It's probably it was. I can't even explain it. Like the AJ, our runner, ran out with 10 seconds to go with that last forward stoppage. And I see him put his hands up like he goes, 10 seconds. So in my head, I'm just counting down. I'm just going 10, 9, and shit's happening. And Pendles gets that ball and he sprays it. Yowie gets it because he's, in that position.
Kennedy is counting down.
I'm counting down.
I'm
in a position to count
while Kennedy is counting down, Collingwood get the clearance, and it's about 5 centimetres from going over Yowi's head and being one-on-one with Jordan to go and Will Schofield inside the forward half. Thanks for counting it down, mate.
Mate, I was in a position where I could count down. I was just holding that corridor balance, mate. It was all right. Like, Yowie was there. But he had Stevenson, my check, and
Varco,
3 of the fastest blokes in the field would have. You were deep on Degoe in the goal square. I'll back you in every day of the week, but I reckon if that was hand over Yowie and they'll run at you.
If you see that last 5 seconds, so Yowie gets it and snaps it, and Varco is 5 centimetres away from smothering it, and there was 3. It was just a wave of Collingwood players.
They're coming straight at Scully on Degoe.
Well, sometimes lie in bed. I promise this. Sometimes lie in bed. I think what would have happened if because there was maybe 7 seconds left. Is there enough time? Do they get it? Do they kick it? And there's 2 seconds left, and I give a free kick away. Does Jordan go back for a set shot after the siren? Is it a foot race? Yeah, I win. Is it a foot race? I fall over.
And he sort of had your number that game as well.
Excuse me.
He did play well. He kicked some goals that day.
But yeah. So the siren goes.
But so I'm counting down, obviously, and then Yowie kicks it back. And then that's when I stopped counting because I came in to be involved in the play. And Redo grabbed it and he somehow fluffed it up the air. He just didn't hold it in. And then Masto grabbed it, pulled it in, and then we're all around. And then the siren goes. So for me, I decided the emotion of winning, I think, and it was all built into that one point. You see guys even Hawthorn when they played us, they knew they were going to win in that last quarter. They've already kind of had those emotions of winning, which kind of drag out that whole quarter. Whereas for us, it was down to those last final till the siren went. It's just everything came out. So I turned to the sky and I screamed as loud as I could. And then in my head, I was just like, "Where's Lecker?" Because we'd been, we're best mates. We've been through so much footy together. And I open my eyes and he's right there and he spear tackles me to the ground. And I was just hugging him. And we were just laying on the ground. And he's just, all I can remember is he goes, "We fucking did it. We done it. We done it." And we're just hugging and hugging. I think Redo tried to jump on or Hutchison, I'd give him an elbow. I was just like, fucking just leave this moment. Yeah. And it's quite funny. I think over our career, we've always, played a lot of footy together. We've celebrated a lot together. Peter Sumich actually back in the day made a rule because he thought we were carrying on too much with, kicking goals, and he just made a rule your dick's aren't allowed to touch when you celebrate because we're coming in too close, we're hugging, we're just in there and we're just up and about. So a lot of it was high-fiving and stuff. And I tell you what, that day, that rule went out the fucking door. There was a fair bit of dick touching.
Oh, that's very good. All right, that's 2018 done and dusted. We have a few more years after that. I'm going to finish on the stats. 700 goals. Kick your 700th goal for the in the AFL, so not for the footy club.
No.
689 for West Coast.
Yep.
But 700 AFL goals. What's that moment like for you last week?
Yeah, look, it's pretty surreal, I think. Yeah, look, to be honest, I didn't really know I was getting to that point until someone texted you and said, I just saw in the article you're only 4 off, and then same as what you did. You know, it's just like, fuck, I've got to kick 4 goals. There's a bit of pressure now. And obviously, coming off into Richmond, we had they spanking us, and first half I wasn't anywhere near it, couldn't get a touch, and so it kind of goes out of your head. But then you kick a couple, and then you start ticking over in your head like, oh, well, kick one, there's 3 more, and you kick another. It's like, oh, there's only a couple, and out of it the whole time, Mum had come down, which was good. So Mum had come down, and she's sitting up there with Lauren in the stand, and she was at that pocket, like at that end. So. Kicked another. There was only 1 to go, and then we were obviously getting spanked. So it's kind of you just try not to get spanked by even more, because it was 109 points in the end. But yeah, lucky enough, Dicko won that contest, sends that handball, and as I snapped it, it kind of went through, and it was just a moment where I was just so glad Mum and my wife were there, because that's what I was waving to. I was waving to them in that pocket. Because they've sacrificed so much for my career, Mum and Lauren, and so to have that point, even though we were losing, it was kind of like just a bit of a thank you, and it's something I'll probably look back later and reflect on a bit more, but it was a pretty cool moment.
You looked emotional,
a little bit, yeah. I think just because, I think you look, all the supporters are the big one, the fans, as much as we perform and you feel like you give to them, like what they've given me over the years is like, I can't even explain it. Like it's something that I'll always cherish forever. And to see him stand up and clap, you're like, fuck, get teary, like going back, Bolter's like the opposition shaking hand, fucking just trying to be tough here. Yeah. But it's a special moment that I'll never forget. Yeah.
Do you count it as 700? Because I know when we've done milestone videos, we've done milestone videos at West Coast Stand, and you play 100th game, you get a highlight video. Well, Kenners would always wait till 111 or 161. He played 11 games with Carlton.
22. 11 goals.
22 games with Carlton. Yep. That's correct. Thanks for correcting me. So it'd always be 22 games late. So the goal side of things, 11 goals with Carlton.
Yeah.
Is it 700 for you?
Well, no. Well, yeah. Well, it's I think if I do kick another 11 goals this year, like it would be another special moment where we've done it, for West Coast.
If you kick 12, you pass Pav as the most goals for a West Australian team. He kicked 700 for Freo.
I got you. Yeah. All right, there's more pressure there. I've got to kick 12 now for the rest of the year. That's all I've got to do. How many games? 16.
You've also got to play 16 games to play your 300th game.
Yeah, no, we've got to play finals, don't we?
Well, I don't know.
I missed one.
16 rounds left.
Yeah, Charlie's done the calculations potentially wrong.
So somebody put this in Schofield.
Don't throw it to someone else, Charlie. You're the one telling me, mate.
So you think you need one finals game in order to crack 300?
Well, I think I had to play every game this year, which was when I was looking at going on this year. I was very unlikely that I was going to play every game, but still give yourself every opportunity. But I missed with one with COVID, so I thought we got to play finals to get that 300 mark.
Maybe you can join the 9-4 club. I finished on 194. Maybe you could do 294.
Yeah, well, I probably will. I'll probably get to that. Yeah, unless I can get through 16 games.
It's just me a part of that club at the moment. You can join that if you like.
I forgot about I forgot about the bye. So it's 15 games left this season.
16 weeks.
16 weeks.
There you go.
So will you play again next season?
Will I?
Oh, like it.
No, I don't think so. I don't think I will. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Heard it here first on BackChat.
So you might end 299.
Could be, could do, possibly. Yeah. I don't, to be honest, the way the knees go and everything, like I don't even know if I'll get through those 15. But
I've been watching that rig of yours. If you play 15 games for the rest of the year, I'll do a lap around Optus Stadium holding 2 fillet of fishes. Do you like fillet of fishes? Do you like if you had to eat a fillet of fish?
You can't say anything. It's got to eat Hungry Jacks.
Do you like?
Nah, double whoppers are.
Such a rat. Speaking of, what's your thoughts on the lap around Optus, like for retired players? You rate that?
I think it's it's good recognition and I think for the supporters and the fans to see guys go around, for sure.
Do you reckon Scully deserves one?
Yeah, yes,
retired. Of course, I bloody deserve it.
So why would you? So I've just seen players this season do it that retired after Scully. I'm just curious, like if it's do you have to reach a certain?
I actually don't know.
filter?
I don't know.
You are asking probably one of the leaders at the club.
Yeah, no, just
Good question.
It's probably a good point.
feels like
I haven't even thought about that, Sco. So
Look, I can't say that I haven't thought about it, to be real honest.
Yeah.
But it's a bit weird coming from me. But
Yeah.
I mean, you guys are talking about it, so I mean, I guess I can join.
we could probably bring that up.
Love a
wouldn't we?
lap, to be honest.
It's a bit late. It's a bit late now, isn't it?
Is it?
is it?
I mean, is it? I saw
No, I mean Redden
going around.
I mean,
Venner's
Venner's
going around.
Venner's had one.
Yeah, Venezuela. Yeah.
Yeah, that's going. All right, that's good.
We could walk it up the chain.
Quick little touch on. We spoke about it with Kyle Godwin. He's a vice captain of the Western Force rugby player. He's the fines master at Western Force, and we were just speaking about it, and made me think of just an all-time moment of spinning the wheel when you spun up, called the coach a nickname in a team meeting.
Yeah.
Can you? I did my best to talk through. Adzi was the nickname.
Yeah.
How do you think Simo took that? Do you think well?
Well, not really, because I think we hadn't won on the weekend, and it was a probably opportune moment where I didn't want to let the boys down, but in hindsight, probably shouldn't have done it at that point in time. But we used to roll our fines straight into like a team meeting. I know, Scott, you mentioned that. So we've gone through the fines. We spin the wheel of having to get up for a fine, and it was call the coach a nickname in a meeting. Was it Adzi, or did we have to make up something? Someone
made up Adzi.
Yeah, you made up Adzi. Yeah, call him Adzi in a team meeting. And I suppose as one of the senior players, and I've always tried to get around with the boys, and I said, fuck it, I'll do it.
Your buy-in's been high for your career.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. And then kind of and ahhing, I'm thinking, when's the best opportunity?
Is your heart like pounding? Are you thinking about it?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. We've just come off a loss as well, remember? So I kind of knew, and I was kind of see how the thing was, like the meeting was, the vibe of the meeting was going. Simo started actually all right. Like I didn't think it was too bad. And then he asked me a question, and I think everyone just like froze. This is it. And I was like, this is my moment. All right. So answer something, and I was talking, and then he like cut me off. Like he actually like went straight into something else, and I was like, oh, fuck, I missed it. And then he kept talking about what we were talking about, something that, and so I had more info. I was like, oh, excuse me, Adzi, can we just? And then I went back into this, and as I finished, everyone kind of went, oh, like the laughter quiet, and he stopped and he goes, did you just call me Adzi? And I was like, oh yeah, and everyone erupted, and then he's just like, yeah, and then he moved straight on to, and I was like, oh, fuck, he didn't laugh with it. And then anyway, so I didn't even listen to the rest of the meeting. In my head, I'm just like, okay, what do I say to Simon? And then meeting finished, and I was just like straight up there, and I was just like, oh man, I'm so sorry, probably timing with that. And he's like, yeah, timing's probably not the best after, probably want to get some points off across that meeting. I was like, oh yeah. Anyway, he changed the whole fine system thing. And then, the funniest thing about it all was that afternoon, walking down the hallway, Hamish Brayshaw walks past him and goes, Adzi? Walks past him. He turns around and goes, Hammer. And he goes, don't you fucking call me Adzi ever again until you win a couple of Colemans. Like it was something like that. And Hammer froze. Oh. So that was probably the funniest thing out of it. But poor Hammer, he tried to have a bit of a laugh.
Hammer, got the boys from one of the pods watching along here. They've done Hamish Brayshaw. That is an absolute gold. I forgot about that. Oh my God. Oh, that's brilliant. All right, very good. Last one before social media. I did want to, that's a good stat from Swamp. Will and JK playing together. All right. So I played 194 games, AFL footy. How many games did we play together out of those 194?
Oh, 160?
Right on the money.
Is it really?
Sorry, what?
It's only the piss.
Did you see my computer screen?
No?
160. That is correct.
Really?
That's actually right. What the fuck?
So well, that's all how I'm good at numbers. Just probability of kicking a snap. Like I worked out. I missed 2012. I missed about 16 games. The rest of them been all right.
What about wins losses?
Oh, wins losses. I reckon. I don't know how many, but I reckon we would have had more wins by the end. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. We did.
Yeah.
Sort of a ratio.
How
many wins? If 160 games, how many of those did we win?
I'm going to say 102 wins.
Very close, really. 92. 92 wins, 67 losses, 1 draw.
I don't know
if I remember which. Gold Coast, maybe? And how many goals did you kick in those 194 games? And how many did I kick?
Well, 160. So I reckon I've kicked in those 160, maybe 280.
Go up, please.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, absolutely. Go up.
320.
Keep going.
Keep going.
Oh, really?
You got to remember I was kicking you a lot of these balls. 426 goals for you.
Really? In those 160?
Yeah, that's right. I play, you kick goals. That's it.
Yep.
And then what about, how many did I kick?
I reckon you would have kicked.
Yeah, so
9?
in 160 games.
9.
Not bad. 15.
Oh.
I wasn't running, carrying.
Yeah, I
defender
know you
at
had
one
a few.
stage.
Yeah.
I didn't always pass them to you when I got out.
I know,
Just
I know.
bang them home. Yeah, there you go. So
15.
I reckon Bunga would be the only other bloke, but he missed a full year with a broken leg, and I played every game that year.
It was 2009? No, 2009.
Yeah, maybe 10. Maybe 10. I reckon he got injured at the start of 10.
Okay, got you.
And so I reckon you may be my number one, my partner in crime.
I missed 16 in 2012. Remember I did that syndesmosis. Lucky did his knee that year.
Maybe I didn't play much that year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, 160. I think that's pretty
nice.
good. Very good. All right, Social Media's here. Social Media brought to you by Cameo.
Oh, really?
Cameo is the sponsor of Social Media.
Nice.
You're a big Cameo man. I know you are.
Cameo, yeah. A few birthday messages.
A few birthday messages and an engagement message. We had a message across Social Media. So where the fans ask, you've been doing Social Media for a long time. You've done Social Media.
Yes, I know what it is.
The fans ask the guests the question.
Yes.
All right, we'll have you out after this. I appreciate your time, but this is very important. This may be the most important.
Okay.
Apparently, you've helped someone propose to their wife on Cameo.
Oh, well, there's been a few random.
A few?
Yeah, random.
I mean, Dan
things.
gets feet requests. I know you have.
I've never had a foot request.
So you've helped someone propose.
I can't imagine what your feet look like.
Oh my god! Can I get a picture of your hands? Anyway, if you want to find Josh Kennedy over there, if you want to find Dan Const, if you want to find Will Schofield, it's the perfect Mother's Day gift.
It is.
Mother's Day's coming up on Sunday. Just jump onto Cameo and get JK telling her how much that he loves your mum.
You love a plug, eh?
Oh, got it, mate. I've got to do it because it's a perfect thing. Cameo, you can find JK over there. You might even be able to find Charlie over there for Mother's Day.
Yeah, might be on soon. Yeah.
Maybe some of those single mums for Charlie. I don't know. Oh, just saying. There's single mums out there.
There's a market for it.
Yeah, that's correct. All right, Social Media, let's get into it. Katrina J. Mercer.
Okay, whilst performing your Zen barefoot stretching routine on the grass right before a game, what are you really listening to in those headphones?
Blink 182. It's my favourite band.
Zen.
No,
it's just
funny.
like
It is.
People think you sit out there and you're listening to but yeah.
Well, I do a bit of
harp
grounding. I connect with the ground. Obviously, there's a bit of that stuff, but Blink 182 is usually what's in my. That makes me happy.
All right, we're doing this rapid fire. I like it. Riley J. Nelson _
Who was the grumpiest teammate you had to come up against at training, and why was it Will Schofield?
Yeah, I was just about to say Scully. Yeah,
There you go.
the fuse.
I mean, I wasn't that grumpy, was I?
But you're a fuse. You use the fuse all the time.
But it never lasted into the change rooms. It was just there, and then or sometimes it did.
You're pretty grumpy.
Some sprays? So he's going to give some sprays on the field?
Oh, no. He would never have an argument with anyone.
T.money97.
My son won a local raffle and got to do a kick-to-kick with JK. Josh got him clean in the head with a Ripper Falcon and gave him a blood nose. My boy supports the Dockers now.
I'm pretty sure that's true. I think that's true. I'm pretty sure that is. Yeah, I do remember doing some kick-to-kicks and I've poled one straight in the kid's face.
You've done a few appearances over your time, haven't you? Just
done a few,
give back to the community.
Yeah, there's been a few of those. Yeah, in the community where that one didn't really go too well.
Matt Cutback _
JK is known as a man with a lot of fingers and a lot of pies outside footy. Which past or present teammate is the most active in trying to make a few dollars away from the club?
Well, this guy here has got more fingers than anything.
Yeah.
Jerry McGovern's probably one as well.
Yes.
And Dom Sheed
Yes.
is probably the other one.
That's the holy trilogy of West Coast players.
You actually listed those exact players before
Did
you
ya?
came in.
That's correct.
About this sort of thing.
Because maybe ask for a signature after this, and I said, well, I hope you've got your cash with you for the signature.
No, don't write that narrative, mate.
Okay. I mean, the fingers in the pies, I would not want those fingers in any pies that I've seen, mate. They're just horrible.
Yeah, good spam with.
Jamie.signmeyer.music.
Hey Josh, back in the day I worked at Harvey Norman in Aussie Park.
Yes.
And you continued to bring in a laptop from the prehistoric era to be repaired and reset despite us constantly telling you should fork out for a new one. Are you still using that laptop?
What was on the laptop? What did you have on there?
Well, I thought you just fix the laptop. You don't have to go and buy a new one. And I didn't. There was the time where I didn't want to go to an Apple. I didn't want to go to an Apple.
Stubborn.
So,
Josh Kennedy, the most stubborn person I've ever met.
I had the
I
Microsoft
don't want to do this. Doesn't matter how good.
Didn't want to go to Apple. It was too hard. Everyone, all these different plugs and shit. I was like, no. So fix it. And
Do you still own it?
No, they got chucked out probably a couple of years ago.
Couple of years ago. Back in 2010. Oh, my God. All right. T_Dizzy, triple_, I believe. A lot of underscores. Absolutely love those.
You don't score 700 goals just by being a calm, composed, carefree character. Describe the beast that is Josh Kennedy on the football field and what's driven him to still be one of the best power forwards in today's game, even at the age of 34.
Oh Jesus.
Quick fire. Thanks. We've already got your life story, so.
Yeah. I
watched you.
Probably my teammates. The teammates have been the biggest driver. Like, you know.
So I was calling the game from under the 6PR box on the weekend, and I was watching you in the last quarter. And it was post 700, and you were like you're at a post play, so you're long down the line play, and you were fighting your opponent, working your ass off late in the last quarter. I would have to say from external, it's your work rate. Is it not your work rate that's got you there? Isn't that what it is? That's how you've built your game. Not by kicking goals. You don't build your game on goal kicking.
No, well, I think the biggest thing back in the day, which Peter Sumich just got ringing in my ear, was like, theory is if you get to as many contests as you can, you're going to have more opportunities to have the ball in your hand. And if those contests are inside 50, then you're going to have an opportunity to have a shot on goal. So, yeah, work rate to get to as many contests as you can.
You also like the old slide mark. I'll notice you like to get on the ground and slide for a mark.
I'm not quick enough. That's probably because I'm not quick enough. So, yeah.
X Green 12. Yeah, this is old mate.
Not a question, but literally proposed to my now wife with a personal video from JK.
That was incredible stuff. So if you want to start propose, if anyone needs to propose, Cameo is the place to go. 5 Josh Cameo. Very cheap over at Cameo as well. Perels.com.au.
Rate Northampton AFL players at all time best to worst.
We got the Northampton legends now, don't we?
We got 9.
Yeah.
Yep, we got 9. So best to worst.
You don't have to just give us your best and your worst.
Yeah.
Best. I'm going to have to say, I reckon Harry Taylor
Yep.
would have to be the best. Few flags, few Australians. Worst, he's me good mate, but Liam Anthony.
I thought you were going to throw Cooper under the bus.
No. Liam played for North, and he was born in Northampton, but never really played for Northampton. But he's still got a statue. So
wow. It'd be a bit like you with Western Australia and being a Victorian a little bit.
I'm a Sandgroper now, mate.
Oh my
You can't
God.
be one now.
No, that's correct.
Excuse me.
I've lived here my entire life, Josh.
James G. Hossian or James Hossian? Don't know.
I robbed your beard when you were drunk post 2014. Then drove you to Northbridge. Do you remember?
Probably not, but thank you for that lift.
Saxon not sound.
Me being a tight ass, not getting an Uber. Ubers probably weren't back then, were they?
What is the longest snap for goal you can do? My guess is 46 metres.
Oh, no, Saxon, come on, mate. I'm not handsy. I'm not. Well, this isn't a 12-year-old footy clinic where they ask how long can you kick the ball. That'd be the most.
Yeah.
Tell us how far you can kick the ball.
150 metres, and they go, wow.
Sorry. Almost
misses.
done. You've got 2 minutes left. Nata J 23.
Who is your favourite backman, past or present, on your own team or an opponent, and why?
Sorry, Sky, I'm not going to say you, but
fine.
Eric McKenzie, me and him battled it out as we were younger over many years. And I reckon you talk about those players that help you get better. He was someone who, definitely helped me with a lot of those battles over pre-seasons and training sessions. And, Eric McKenzie would probably be one from our team.
Bray and Ethan.
How many times have you been mixed up with Josh P. Kennedy?
Plenty of times.
People happy or disappointed?
Are you Josh J. Kennedy?
I'm Josh J. Kennedy, yeah. There's plenty of times been mixed up. Phone calls going to grandma from people saying like, oh, Josh has hurt himself, so she'd ring me and everything. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, so little things like that. But probably the biggest thing was grandma sometimes would also ring me and go like, oh, you did so well in the Brownlow medal the other night.
Oh, that's so cute.
Whereas I didn't get any points. Like,
that's great. Bray, Loveridge. Last question.
Did the Waffle supply a private jet for you to get up to Northampton on the weekend?
No, they should have.
Buy your own way up there, did you?
Yeah, of course.
That was good initiative by
you.
you.
Why are you making me out to be a tight ass?
No,
I'm
talking
not.
about this cab.
I'm just reading.
Hey.
You just go, oh, did you buy your own way up there, did you?
I was just wondering.
As if like, what? How else am I going to get up there?
I love that you're so prickly, which means we're probably around the money.
He's touching us.
Mate, I know you're going to get out of here. You got to grab your kids. You're a family man. We appreciate your time. Sort those fingers out, mate. Honestly, that's scary.
Wear
scary
some gloves.
I will finish on. So thank you, mate.
No worries.
Mother's Day coming up. If you haven't bought your mum a present, we got the lot here. We got coffee from Margaret River Roasting Co. You can get a nice little discount code over at Patreon for all of this. So sign up to be a patron on backchatpodcast.com.au. So Margaret River Roasting Co. coffee. Your mum likes drinking. Get her a whiskey. Whippersnapper whiskey. Josh Kennedy's nodding his head. He likes a bit of that. If you think flowers are the way to go on Mother's Day, which they bloody are.
Yep.
Fox and Rabbit, free delivery, Patreon. Kenneth is about to sign up right now. He's getting a little bit excited. And if none of that floats your boat and you can't buy a present, buy a Cameo. These are all supporters of the podcast here, Josh. And and then finally, if none of those work, maybe just put a bet on it for her at Bluebet. Yeah. Just put a bet on for her, make her a bit of money and send her the money by that. Bluebet, thank you very much. They are sponsors. We love it. Backchatpodcast.com.au. You can find us on social. Backchat _ on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, YouTube. You know where to find us. Just look up Backchat. Probably look up Josh Kennedy. It's probably going to blow up. I'd say so. And
That's it.
That's just about it. Bye, Josh.
Cheers.